The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
Morning. Did you sleep?
Still sleeping. Making pancakes.
Pancakes. National Pancake Day.
Hey, listen, I like to have a lot of fresh fruit around and chocolate chips in my pancakes, okay? Write it down so you don't forget.
Pancake power.
Sure is nice to pile on some old pancakes and syrup after a night of beer drinking, isn't it?
Damn it, I want pancakes! God, you people understand every language except English. Yo quiero pancakes. Donnez-moi pancakes.
Poor little guy. Pancakes must be street for crack. Damn those parents of his.
Sarah, forgiveness.
I love pancakes. I love them so much. And they make me so tired. And I never blame them. I'm always like, what is up with me today? I can't get it going, you know? And I'll go to my wife. I'm like, I think we need new pillows. And she's like, you think it's that loaf of bread and syrup you just say?
It's showtime! Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
Yeah, singing about pancakes. What a wonderful way to begin today's edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Welcome, everyone. Someone tell me, if you know, what is the latest with the singing group right there singing to us about pancakes? The one and only Cuckoo Kangaroo. Anyone know?
Boy, that's a good question.
Yeah, they're still out touring and stuff. I think they had a show here not too long ago.
Didn't they play the fair over the summer? I'm sorry, not the
Taste
fair.
of Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All right, I just haven't heard.
Also, I think the Minnesota Zoo, they're usually...
I thought you guys were tight, Josh, you and the members of Cuckoo Kangaroo.
I follow them a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, not physically.
So they're still active?
Creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
They
do
they're
like
on
world
tour.
tours.
Pumping out songs about food?
Yep, I got a chance to see them like 2 or 3 years ago. They were at the Step Up for Down Syndrome event at Como Park, where it's a fundraiser for kids with Down syndrome, and they were awesome.
Singing songs about poop?
Oh my gosh, I was so geeked to see that they were there, and of course I immediately thought about you guys. I think I even texted you and Nick and Josh and was like, oh my gosh, you'll never guess who I'm watching right now.
I think I remember
Sunday.
that. Singing songs about whales.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've mentioned this before, but I saw them at the zoo, and it must have been tough guy night at the zoo or something.
Why else would you have been there?
Yeah, exactly. I was surprised they let me in. Maybe just they needed someone to bully, right? They had to have a little of both. But yeah, there's all these like leather-bound motorcycle guys. One more intimidating than the next.
The biker gang broke down right on Highway 77 or whatever road the zoo is on.
Yeah, you're right there. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the hell's going on, and they're all watching this group, and I didn't realize, or about to perform, I didn't realize it was Cuckoo Kangaroo. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great. I get a chance to see them live. And it was my first time seeing them live. And these guys, a lot of them had their arms crossed, and were like, God dang it, this sucks. Their kids are there. They were miserable. And I'd say by song 2, they're all doing the hand motion. They're dancing smiles. The Cuckoo Kangaroo won over the toughest crowd I've ever been around.
It's automatic. They're that damn good. So any of our listeners, if you know the boys, tell them that the Half-Ass Morning Show says hello.
They've got a show actually next Saturday in St. Paul.
Will they be wearing their fanny packs?
I imagine they will be.
And their glitter-bound hats.
A Cuckoo Kangaroo bumper sticker is still proudly displayed, Josh, on my second favorite beer cooler that I have at home. I'm sure you're familiar with my favorite beer cooler.
I don't know that I am.
The Iron Maiden one you got him? Or Josh got you?
Sure,
That's right. My favorite beer cooler is the Iron Maiden cooler that Josh got me as a gift a few years ago. My second favorite, just your standard red and white Playmate, but I have 2 bumper stickers on that sumbitch. One of them, Minnesota Twins. The other, Cuckoo Kangaroo. And I'll go out on the lake. I'll go here with it. I'll go there. I don't take the Iron Maiden cooler to too many places because I'm afraid some derelict will snatch it. I only take the Iron Maiden cooler to special occasions. I'll just bring the red and white, and I'll have people say, who the hell's Cuckoo Kangaroo? And I get to tell them all about it.
Oh, that's great.
That's right.
I like sharing new things with people. I'll tell you this, I've got a couple of coolers. Never once have Have they had beer in them whatsoever?
No, I'm sure not.
Not even close to it.
I think maybe some coleslaw, tuna fish sandwiches, and some sparkling waters.
Some juice boxes.
Closest
couple of
thing
Diet
to a
Dews.
beer is root beer.
Oh, yeah. I've been drinking a S-ton. I almost said the S word of root beer lately.
Yeah, I don't picture you dumping a 18-pack of Old Style in there and heading out for
I forget about that stuff. You know, when I offer somebody something to drink if they come over, they're like, what do you got? I'm kind of a Miller Lite guy or whatever. I'm like, oh, no. Got like some Frescas and, bottled water.
Right. At least you have a cooler, though. You have more than one.
Yeah, we have two. Just like a regular size one and then a smaller one.
One of the funniest things I have ever seen in my life was back when we were playing beer league softball, a dozen division titles. You guys have heard all about it. It's in the papers. Everyone, as you guys know how it operates when you play beer league hockey or beer league softball, you rotate who's in charge of beer. Game after game after game. Whose turn is it next week? Donnie. All right, Donnie, you're in charge of beer next week. On this one beer league club that I played for, softball, there was one guy on our team, just one, who was not a functioning alcoholic, right? He was a straight-laced dude. The rest of us, a pack of drunks, never had to worry at all when it was the rest of the ball club's turn for beer. You knew there was going to be more than enough beer in a big, gorgeous cooler, usually with wheels, if you have any brains in your head at all, because oftentimes you have to drag that bastard from the parking lot all the way to the ballpark.
Your field's on the furthest field away,
right.
too.
That
Every
just happened to
single
us.
time.
You're bringing 65 beers or something. Right? So it came time for our straightest-laced player. It was his turn for beer. Oh, I've told stories about this peckerhead before. I'm talking about my friend Wang.
Yes, Wang story.
Nice. You're excited about it?
Oh, I love Wang stories. I love Wang.
In the days leading up to when it was Wang's turn for beer, a few of us started talking. We said, this might be something to see. Someone said, I bet Wang doesn't even have a cooler because he's gone through his entire life unprepared, right? I bet he doesn't even have a cooler. Boy, I bet he hasn't bought beer in years, right? He's just not that guy. Sure as hell, that night, Wang pulls up in his broken Honda Civic, pops open the trunk. He's got, and again, like Wappel was saying, we're 4 or 5 miles away from the ball field when we're in the parking lot. This massive softball. Wang cracks the trunk on his broken Honda Civic, and inside, a styrofoam cooler with 78 beers in there and full of ice. And I said, boys, we got to see how Wang navigates this sumbitch. He carried that. I don't know how much it must have weighed. He carried it all the way from the parking lot. Ice falling out the top. Some of the styrofoam starting to crack. You know what I mean? It's giving way on him, and he's only halfway there. Yeah, that was legendary. He was absolutely cooked by the time he got to the ball field. We knew he was going to go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 because he had spent himself. I don't care if you're a drinker or a non-drinker, get yourself a big fat-ass cooler.
Wappel, what you said was perfect because it was our turn to bring Gatorades for my son's football team a couple weeks ago. And so I'd loaded it up, and So I parked my vehicle, right? And they tell us what field it is. I'm like, oh, my gosh, that is such a long walk. Ours doesn't have wheels on it.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, I have to carry this thing. And one of the other dads offered to help me. I'm like, no. I felt bad putting them out. I'm like, I got it. And so I lifted it myself, and I thought, I don't think I have this. And it must have been all over my face because he insisted that he help. And thank God he did, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to grin and bear it as much as I could.
Oh.
But I thought for sure I'm going to have to take a couple of breaks.
You stop by a fence and act like you're checking out another game. Yeah, all right.
You sit down for a Gatorade break.
Get yourself a hernia that way. Oh, God. All right. Right away this morning, I sat myself down and I read an email from Dana over there. An outrageous story. So outrageous, I'm wondering if he made it up. Now, let me read this email to everyone.
I don't know how I could have made this story up.
I got to hear more about this, if in fact it's a true story. This is the email I received from Dana. It says here, I stopped by my favorite gas station. Now, so far, that's all true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I stopped by
What makes it your favorite? Out of just location?
Because it's chaotic. I enjoy the chaos. There's always something to see there, and this was the most extreme example of things I've seen at this gas station.
You should have grown up in a commune like I did. Chaos, that's the way to put it.
So the email says, I stopped at my favorite gas station. It's my favorite because of how chaotic it is. That sounds so familiar.
It's almost like he just said it.
This was Tuesday. A guy and a woman's he was with got into an argument and were yelling at each other and clearly on some sort of drugs.
Or alcohol, perhaps. I guess I don't know the specifics of what they were on, but they were on something.
Here's where, when I was reading the story, here's where I woke up a little bit. You know. A guy and a woman, they got into an argument at the gas station. They were yelling at each other and clearly on some sort of drugs. She was accusing the man of having a boner.
You know what?
Check this out. I do not.
I'd want some definitive evidence.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want people to have to accuse me. I'd want them just to know.
What is it that you heard? What is it in that moment? Okay, the way you put it in the email, she was accusing the man of having a boner. What did you hear?
She said, "You just poked me with that boner. You got a boner. You bumped into me with that boner."
The man was getting very defensive. What did he claim, Dana?
He goes, "I do not have a boner. I do not have a boner."
He claimed he did not have a boner.
Mm-hmm.
They were on opposite sides of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to clear his name, Dana printed in the email. He wanted to clear his name so badly, he pulled his sweatpants down and exposed his flaccid penis and yelled, See, no boner. This really happened?
This really happened right by the hot dog rollers at my favorite gas station.
Oh, wait a minute, you're inside?
Yes, it was inside the gas station.
Yeah,
I thought they were like maybe in a car. And then
No. They were inside the gas station.
You know, so this is weird, and this is kind of weird about you sometimes. This was Tuesday, you said? Mm-hmm. You said nothing yesterday.
How did you keep this to yourself yesterday?
There's times you tell us a story, something that maybe happened a week prior, and it's just a bomb.
I don't know if you were paying attention to yesterday's show, but we could have used this yesterday.
But like even on or off air, I mean, I was telling Nick, if this happened to me, I would call him immediately and be giving him a play-by-play. Okay, he whipped it out. Yeah, that's his penis.
Josh,
I would have texted
He definitely
you guys.
has a boner.
Josh would have called me as it was happening and maybe tried to get the phone as close to the man's face as possible as he was claiming he had no boner.
Yeah.
So then you say you got out of there as the cops were being called. You're regretful. You wish you would have hung around longer. I see what you mean.
I didn't mean that intentionally.
But the couple was pretty messed up, and you were worried, something even worse could have given way.
Looking back, in hindsight, I wish I would have stayed around to kind of see the fallout of what happened afterwards. But in the moment, I was like, okay, I need to get my Gatorades and get out of here because this is getting a little real here. But yeah, just whipped it. Dirty gray sweatpants, just pulled them down and whipped it out and just right by the dog rollers.
Maybe you're more mature than I am, because I would not be able to wait to tell you guys what just happened. Every once in a while, you'll do something like that.
That is one hell of a story.
It was something. Yeah, so I saw a public dong.
What'd you think?
Good size. I mean, I'm not Ashley's boyfriend, but it looked like a decent dong.
Must have been quite frightening.
It was a little terrifying, but like I said, I'm kind of used to things happening at this gas station that I go to on the way home from work, that I've seen a lot of things there, so it's almost like this didn't even faze me all that much, but it's definitely the most chaotic thing I've seen there.
You're brave.
What would you say age-wise? Where were they about?
40s.
Okay, so yeah, these aren't like teens or young adults.
Mm-mm. Old enough to know better than to pull your dong out at a gas station.
Can you imagine waking up kind of foggy the next day going, did I pull my penis out at a gas station?
Again? Yelling about my penis at the gas station?
And by the hot dog rollers, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a boner argument. Nothing that stands out.
I can't think of any boner arguments that I've been in either. But if I am going to have one, Josh, I want you to be my opponent.
I'd like to be there.
Yeah. That is outrageous and disturbing and frightening.
People are.
And also, again, we want to make another note that it's really strange that you said nothing about this yesterday.
I mean, we're not alone, right? Wappel,
That's
actually,
really weird.
Yeah, I would have told you guys immediately.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kind of weird he left that one out yesterday.
Part of the reason why I thought maybe it was made up. I'm like, come on, anyone else in their right friggin' mind, that would have been the first thing out of your mouth yesterday when you walked into the building. The guy sits on this for a day.
Guys, I made you commemorative T-shirts. You're not going to believe what I saw.
No, it's not the right timing yet. I'll give it a day.
Maybe I was just still processing what I saw in my head and was maybe traumatized and didn't realize it.
A few people text in and they're wondering if you were the guy in that scenario.
Well, because I did have a boner when I was at the gas station, unlike the guy who didn't.
Is it because of the good prices and Chuckwagon sandwiches?
Yeah, buy two, get one Gatorade free. I mean, that you get torqued up immediately when you see that.
Oh, hell yeah, I get torqued up, man.
What are we getting torqued up about?
Gatorade,
Gatorade.
apparently.
Oh, my God.
I wish I had something to share like that. I've never seen anything like that in public.
No,
I'm racking my brain for.
The closest would be, I mean, as far as like a public argument between a couple, there was a couple, the woman was about to go into the bank and they were arguing. Obviously, this couple were arguing in the car, yelling at each other, and I felt pretty bad because it looked like they were not happy. And the woman got out, and slammed the door, starts walking towards the bank, kind of stops and puts her head up like, oh no. Had to turn around, go back into the car because she forgot her purse, and then do it all over again. She did slam the door twice.
I mean, okay, and all I can contribute as far as, surprise dong stories go is, I got an email once.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
If you're going down to St. Paul tonight for the concert, it says here Wappel and Dana are doing stage announcement for our family, stage announcements is how you say it, for our family reunion show at the XL Energy Center. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
On a school night.
Yeah, we're brave, but I'm really excited for this concert.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Wappel's
Who
pumped.
is it again now?
It's going to be Sleep Theory, Wage War, Nothing More, Chevelle, and Godsmack.
I've seen Sleep Theory. They're
God.
awesome.
Yeah, Sleep Theory's really good. Wage War just came out with a new album that is very, very heavy, so I'm excited about that. And Nothing More is my all-time favorite band.
All-time favorite band?
Yep.
Well, then, of course, you would be excited for such a thing. You get up onto the stage, little this, little that, try to be funny, cute. You announce a band, you go backstage, you get a free beer, you come and do it again an hour later.
Yep.
Have you guys thought at all about what you're going to say? Or, Wappel, you're very good at that. Actually, a couple people just brought that up the other day.
Yeah, Wappel, you're great at this.
Yeah.
What is it that you do that's so great?
I have no idea.
I haven't seen you do this before.
He just has so much confidence when he's up there, and he actually gets the crowd going. He's like a hype man. I'm convinced it's because all of the years of watching WWE.
Yes.
And AEW.
Is that true? Do you get the crowd cooking?
Sometimes.
Do you feel confidence when you go up there?
No, I feel a lot of nerves. Wow,
I don't get that at all from you.
Yeah, but just try to tame them. But there was one time I stole a gimmick from the New Day. Speaking of pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, St. Paul, are you ready? And I was behind the stage.
Okay, it's pretty cliche so far,
Yeah,
Josh.
and then they cheered, and then I ran on the stage, and they're like, "Oh, it's just Wappel. That sucks." But I got him. I
see. I see where you're going with that. Where they think, "Oh my God, we're seconds away from the band."
Yep.
And then here comes Kermit.
Yep. There I am.
I get it.
Awesome.
Hi.
That does suck. What do they call that? A soft
Soft.
The soft intros suck the worst.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's when you're like, are you guys ready for the band? They're going to be on stage in 20 minutes.
I don't know why that has to exist.
Yeah, it's
I don't
stupid.
know.
Hey, who came up with that? That wasn't a thing when we were kids in the business. That wasn't a thing. And then someone came up with the soft intro.
Can you imagine you've been standing in line for a beer for a while. All of a sudden you hear that and go, crap, I got to get out of line and go watch the show.
Yeah, and then 30 minutes later, the band's
just a radio dick.
I think it's because they all have this big show production now, all these bands, and they want to, play an intro song, and then they have, that pop of, fireworks, and then they drop the curtain, with the band name. That seems to be the big gimmick.
That's how they do it.
You know, by the way, if the guys in Godsmack happen to be listening, I'm sorry that Wappel didn't share any enthusiasm whatsoever for your performance tonight.
Sorry.
The guy says nothing about him.
Sorry. Sorry,
He's
Sully.
excited for every band but the headliner.
Yeah, you know, those kind of deals can be fun, getting up there on stage, but
Oh, I'd be happy never to do
yeah,
anything like that
I'm
again.
glad that those days are over for me.
I almost lost my life doing one. I almost had death by roadies. It was a hot summer concert. It was an outdoor show. We probably should have canceled the show because of how hot it was. Like, the heat index was insane. We were giving everybody water, and we also had squirt guns that we could, we'd fire into the audience while we were doing stage. Yes, exactly. While we were doing our stage announcements, and then at one point, I turned and I went to spray one of my radio partners on stage next to me. She ducked, and I soaked that soundboard. And the roadies were pissed.
Oh, I can't even imagine. That is a lot of money. And then if that show didn't go on because
I know.
of that?
And this was right before the headliner. And
I got to know who the headliner was.
AWOL Nation.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I run over
What
there.
a
I'm like,
disaster that would have been.
I go, what can I do? And they look at me and they're like, just get the F out of here. Like, don't even try to help. And I walk off stage. My boss is standing there, and he goes, yeah, not going to lie, you just screwed up pretty bad, man. No words of comfort whatsoever.
You made me feel a lot better. So much better because I think the band was Red, the name. And
Red.
We were on our boat cruise. They were going to do an acoustic show, and we're going up to do an announcement. Again, I hate it. And I tripped over one of their acoustic guitars. I didn't see it. It was leaning up against a chair. I knocked it over. This big twang goes over the loudspeaker.
I thought it was awesome.
Oh, man. I really want to thank those guys. Their guitar player could not have been more cool. I thought for sure, oh, man, I really pissed these guys off, and I felt so bad about it, but he was awesome. He was so forgiving and so nice.
They were very nice and forgiving to old Cubby. Back to Dana's story, I mean, we're all very familiar with this, but just in case you don't know, you would much rather, in that situation as the dorky, I'm going to announce the band guy, you would much rather piss off the band themselves than their roadies or their handlers.
Oh, yeah.
Because the roadies and the handlers have an extra edge and an extra level of anger to them because they are not the rock stars.
I'm so glad I haven't experienced that.
And
Everyone's always been just super nice.
They get their nuts worked down to the friggin' screws.
They work
day
all
in,
day.
day out.
All day,
And
all
they
night.
hate their lives because they're not the rock stars and they're looking for someone to take it out on.
And they hate the radio douchebags, too.
I watch,
Well, everybody does, and I totally understand
Yeah,
why.
it's pretty much everybody that
Right.
does. It kind of sucks when you're in radio, but you understand. I watch a lot of those, like, behind the scenes of concerts where they go do gear rig rundowns, They call them, like, rig rundowns for the guitar players.
It's a rig rundown. That's an industry term, Josh.
Well, it's not really an industry term.
No, it's inside stuff.
Oh, I'm going to hold on to that
It's
then.
good that you explain it. It's
I
good.
really dropped a knowledge bomb on folks here, but I watch those all the time. They with various guitar players, or then they show kind of what it takes to set up these shows. Those guys really do work. I mean, they get in late at night. They're working on everything all day until the night show, and then they pack up afterwards and do the same thing. That's got to be a very, very difficult job. No wonder they're
gig.
always in a bad mood.
Tough gig.
But you're right. The handlers, usually like the managers, sometimes the roadies, if you have much to do with them, are kind of dicks to you backstage. It's not really worth it, I think.
Yeah, we're just in the way.
Yeah, because they don't want us to do it.
We're in the way. We don't know where to stand. They don't know where we should stand.
You know who they really hated? They do not like David Lee Rock backstage because he's so big.
Our mascot?
Yeah, he's done
Well, who's letting him backstage?
He's done a couple stage announcements with me, and you can tell they're like, dude, this guy, like, this isn't gonna work. This
Just bumping
big rock
into things.
needs to move.
And then backstage, it's completely black. And then you have to get up the staircase that's also completely black. And then he can't see through the eye holes.
Yeah, you have to
not a good idea to bring
help
up.
him like a grandma up the stairs.
Let's not bring a 18-year-old kid in a foam outfit backstage anymore, okay?
Do you get when's the last time you did a stage announcement, Wappel?
What was it? Stained. It was our last thing.
So not too long ago.
2 months ago?
So Is it kind of the same as when Nick and I would do it? They're yelling at you like, get out there, get out, go, go. Like there's a whole bunch of nothing, and then they start yelling, and then they're like, wait, get back. And they're like pissed at you on both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like that you're not out there fast enough, and then they pull you back. I mean, you don't know, like Nick said, you don't know where to stand, what to do. Everybody's yelling at you to do something different.
Yeah, that didn't happen last time to me, but it did happen a time before. The last time I did it, though, they warned me. They're like, all right, so you're going to be up on stage. You got to be in front of the stage, but you got to stand in the middle. If you stand on the sides, the microphone's not going to work. And then, by the way, there's going to be people behind you, roadies. They're going to be moving everything left and right. All right, get up there.
And mention
I'm
these
like,
13 sponsors.
God. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you said that so fast. I have no idea what you said. Now I got to watch out for stage behind me. Like, oh, great.
You just want to do a wrestling intro.
Yep.
Just try to remember the band's name and,
hit the sponsor. Nicolay Law, accident and injury lawyers. Thanks,
sponsors,
guys.
if they ask you to give the record label that the band represents, hopefully you get that right. I've screwed all of it up at one point or another.
That kind of helps.
What helps?
For tonight.
Just knowing that?
Yeah, just knowing
focus
that.
on those. Knowing that I've done everything wrong before?
Yeah.
I mean
you do everything right, usually.
If you F it up, it's been F'd up before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, we ought to get going again. It's already the Thursday edition of this show.
Kind of went by fast this week.
Definitely.
We're
It's almost October.
We're kind of getting there. But I've made the mistake before of pointing out that the week is going by quickly, and then the rest of the week is absolute misery. So you can thank me for that if, in fact, it turns out that way. Dr. Andrea Johnston, a doctor of veterinary medicine, will be visiting our studios a little bit later on this morning, so you can feel free to text in 651-989-9393 if you have a question about your house pet and its overall general health. That's how Dr. Andrea handles things. She'll swing by. We're shooting for 8:20, right around 8:20.
She's been a great addition to the show.
She's awesome. She's a cool gal in every damn way, and she'll try to help you out one way or the other.
C Willi Myles?
Yep. C Willi Myles.
I forgot about C Willi. He's going to be here.
He's going to show up during Shaver and stick around.
All right. C Willi by damn Myles as well. So let's take a breather, and we'll come back here in a couple minutes on the program.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'm going to fire up today's edition of the Stupid News Report with a message from a listener. And it's something that fits perfectly with the subject matter that has made our Stupid News segment famous all over the world. In every corner of the world. A listener sent me what appears to be a post from that soulless, evil social media. A post put up there by a local racetrack. And of course, I'm not going to mention the name of the track in case this is all nonsense. I'm not going to be dumping names and making anyone uncomfortable. I'll just go ahead. Here is what was sent to me. It appears to be a post from social media coming from a local racetrack. And it appears that whoever runs the track made the post. It says here, "Why?" is the headline. This track is a family-oriented track. Our entire family helps with this track. Our kids help all the time. Who in the hell thinks it's okay And why would you in your underwear and leave it in our bleachers? A female pair of panties full of a female pair of panties. They stated it twice.
Could have been a guy wearing female drawers.
True. So our kids can find it. So our people can find it. Why?
Why?
People ruin it for everyone. I don't know who did this, but if you know who did, there is a reward. If you want to look a little further into it, I guess sign up for social media. That's what was sent to me, and that does sound terrible.
Yeah, I mean, have the decency, if you're crapping the women's panties you're wearing, to throw them in the garbage in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Would you guys rat me out if you knew it was me who crapped the women's undies and left them at the racetrack?
That's the dumbest question I've ever heard. Yes.
No doubt. It wouldn't. I would offer up the information. They wouldn't even have to ask.
Dana, while Nick was reading that text, I sent an email to the racetrack to frame you for such a thing. Yes. If you really did it, absolutely. I wouldn't need a reward. That would be its own reward.
See me in cuffs.
Yeah.
That is really awful what happened. Sorry to hear that, local racetrack.
I'd imagine that alcohol was a factor in such a thing.
Likely.
Maybe a combination of that and poor food choices or a pre-existing condition, but still. Yeah, you got to throw those away in the bathroom.
I wish I could contribute further because there is a reward, but I know that this is the first I've heard of it. I mean, so maybe somebody gambled and lost. As you guys know, I was the gamble and lose captain of Hennepin County for decades. I always cleaned up my disasters and tried to make it as if it never happened.
You wouldn't make it somebody else's problem.
I would never make it someone else's problem, Cubby.
I try to live that way.
Kids involved, this person said. There's kids. All right.
Although a kid might find discovering some poopy pants pretty funny. Eh?
Some would.
Yeah. I probably would have laughed if I was a young person.
Yeah, I don't know. You laugh a little bit, but then still, you are in charge of removing those poopy panties from the premises. I think that's where the laughter comes to an end. Sure, you laugh until you realize you don't have any rubber gloves.
I worked at a garbage movie theater when I was a young person, and I never discovered anything like that. We'd find, people were pretty gross with like their food and beverages and spit and boogers and stuff like that.
Oh.
But never feces or anything like that.
Good.
You see, from what I understand, Josh, if you want to encounter strange underwear filled with turd logs, you got to work retail.
I did work retail and never discovered that either.
My sister worked in clothing stores when she was young, all up and down, all over town. Some prominent joints. Well, I guess I should restate this. If you want to encounter strange underwears filled with liquid feces, you need to work retail in Minneapolis. Because my sister worked at all the hip joints in Minneapolis when she was a young person. Name a hip joint where they sold cool clothes that young people would make a statement with. That's where my sister worked. And they were right downtown, or in some situations it was uptown. And almost every week, unfortunately, they had a bathroom that was open to the public. Almost every week, they'd find a pair of drawers that someone had diarrheaed in. Sometimes they would then add some of that diarrhea to the walls. So she's trying to sell, hip pants and stylish shoes to suburb kids who had moved to the uptown neighborhood. And in between selling hip pants and stylish shoes, she has to get out a mop and mop the walls free of diarrhea.
I've heard fast food restaurants and gas stations were another couple places where the bathrooms can get a little rough.
Yep. Thankfully, that never happened to me when I was working at a fast food joint.
Really?
Oh, I got lucky.
It shouldn't happen at the racetrack. All right. Here we go with today's edition. I noticed that there's a darkness to today's Stupid News Report. I think old Cubby here is starting to get into the Halloween spirit.
A little bit.
Count Joshua.
We like to put complimentary stories next to each other.
I'm going to call you Count hang on.
That's one of my favorite parts of Halloween is the when they bring back Count Chocula and some of the other themed cereals.
Yeah, those have been out for like a month or maybe even 2 months now.
That doesn't surprise me because I saw a Christmas display at a store yesterday.
I did too at Target recently over the weekend.
I don't like that. Don't skip over Halloween. I do not like that.
Let me tell you something about those Halloween-themed cereals. A few years ago, Cubby, I got the same feeling you were just describing. I'm walking through one of those grocery stores, and I saw that they had a big old fat-ass box of Franken nuggets. What are they again? Frankenberries, right? Frankenberries. Yeah. And the box is colorful and adorable. There he is, big, stupid Frankenstein. He's pink for some reason, right? And I said, for the love of Christ, I haven't had a bucket of Frankenberries since I was 5. So I brought them home because I used to love eating sugary cereals when I would get home from this nightmare. I would just windmill sugary. Now I kind of went away from it. But this is a few years ago. So I brought that box of Frankenberries back to the house. I filled up a big bowl, and I ate it. And let me tell you something. I got a sugar high where I almost ended up climbing the walls. Climbing the walls. I could not sleep for hours because I was so high on sugar.
That's awesome. I bet it definitely has something to do with the fact that you don't drink any caffeine. So when you have, something like that, your body actually registers it.
Don't get me wrong. It was delicious, but I almost went crazy. Because it had been so long since I had ingested that much sugar in one sitting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
So good, though.
When I became an adult, I got to buy stuff like that because my folks wouldn't pay for it. But it just was so nostalgic because I loved the commercials as a kid. Once they started advertising those themed cereals.
Did they have cute commercials?
Oh, yeah. Didn't you watch Saturday morning cartoons?
Yeah, I don't remember
they would load
the
us
Frankenberry commercials or anything. Oh, I watched the balls off of set. Okay. Josh has got that Halloween vibe here. You can tell by today's Stupid News Report. This is frightening. A creepy sumbitch over there in Thailand. He's gotten himself, and I know what you're going to say. Oh, a story from Thailand. Who got sucked into the small intestine of a python? No, we're not doing a python story from Thailand. Normally when Thailand is here, we're talking about pythons sucking babies down into their small intestine. A creepy guy in Thailand, he's gotten himself arrested. He has. The effing guy has been performing penis enlargement procedures on penises.
Thankfully,
he's
penises.
He's doing the first part right.
He's been dumping these wang operations on players for the last 20 years without a medical license.
Uh-oh.
And some of you might be saying, well, that's not right, but he must be a well-educated guy he only made it through the 9th grade.
Doesn't
and
even
he's
have
touching
a
my
GED
pee-pee.
or anything. All right.
He does have his hands on your pee-pee.
Oh, no.
On your acorn.
On my wang.
Wappel, you have a strict policy. No 9th graders can touch your pee-pee as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I also have that policy.
Dude's been performing penis enlargement surgeries for 20 years, and he hasn't had a medical license. Now, I wouldn't lie to you. The crooked dong doctor goes by the name of Kitty Corn. Yes, that's an adorable name. You're going to have to try and look past it because this is evil.
All right, Kitty Corn, go ahead and touch my penis.
He's a 36-year-old man by now, and his scam got busted wide open after a sting operation at a townhouse where he'd been putting on these dink enlargement gimmicks. Hey, I'm looking for a penis enlargement. Can you point the building out to me where I can have... Oh, just that townhouse over there. Oh, the townhouse.
It's nice to hear a story about people that hate their penises more than I hate my own.
You do hate your own.
They're ignoring a lot of signs there that something might be not so right about this decision. And by the way, Wappel, we're telling a story about a guy who's botched penis enlargement surgeries. You seem to be stuck on the fact that he touched your penis.
Yep.
You're leaving the horror out of it.
Yeah, he doesn't just touch it, dude. He cuts it open.
Yeah.
He slices it open slowly.
You can't get past the fact that he's touching it.
This dude handled a lot of dong. 20 years.
Yeah, that's what surprises me.
Miles of dong.
And then he just got busted now, so he must have been doing a pretty good job.
See,
no one really made
a
complaints.
3-star rating on Yelp.
Hang on, boys. God knows what he was doing to make him bigger. That is, if any of his procedures worked at all. He may have given all of his patients frankenpenis. Maybe none of them survive more than a week. We don't know. We don't know yet. Don't be, giving this guy too much credit. Kitty corn, he admitted that he cut up at least 2 or 3 peckers a month. He had jack squat for medical training. Now, this here is for all you parents who can't help but admit to yourself, once in a while, you can't help but admit it. You say to yourself, dang, I got a weird kid. I know you're out there. You've done all you can as a parent, but your kid is just weird, and you can't deny it. This is for you. This will likely make you feel much better about your weird kid. Kitty corn. No medical training. He's been performing operations on penises for 20 years. He's 36 years old. So through my limited arithmetic skills, he started dumping amateur tallywhacker operations on dudes starting when he was 16. But that's not actually accurate. He told the cops he taught himself how to do schlong implants when he was 14. And he's been doing it ever since.
Why?
So if you're worried about your weird kid and the weird things he or she might be into, I would guess no way your 8th grade kid is in your basement right now studying how to perform unlicensed dick lengthening procedures.
Yeah, Nick, my math is good enough. So two a month, so that'd be 12 a year times 20. That's 240 people that have gotten their schlongs longed.
Yeah, your math is way off.
Huh.
You said 2 a month. That would be 12 a year. How many months are in a year in your mind?
24 a year, Wappel.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
God, I'm terrible.
Hey, here's the deal, Wappel. I didn't notice.
So that would be 480 then.
He's an 8th grade age kid, 14 years old. What's he doing with his free time? He's not playing video games. He's not playing, baseball with his buddies. He's in the basement studying how to do penis surgeries. Dude.
That's alarming.
That's when I leave the wife and kid.
Question.
Yes.
I've got two, well, I guess they're friends of my wife's. I only have one wife. Friend of my wife's, who, they are leaving the country to get surgeries because they're far less expensive.
Oh, God.
To me...
Send them flowers now.
Yeah, see, it makes me a little nervous. Now, apparently, these procedures are relatively common where they're going.
They're going
and
to
a
die.
lot of people do it with great success rates.
They're going to pass away.
Wouldn't you guys be extra nervous about that?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
This is the last you will see of that, of those people.
It's a shame that they have to do something like that for how expensive things are. But my goodness, that would make me very nervous.
Terrifying.
I definitely wouldn't get it done in somebody's townhouse. I would recognize, all right, that's not worth the discount.
All right, so you, what are the other people's names here in that other room, Josh? I know Ashley.
Yep, there's Wappel.
Dana and Wappel. A minute ago you were saying, well, he made it this far. Nobody's complained. He must be pretty good. Kitty corn was reported to the authorities by a disgruntled patient who suffered a serious penis infection.
That's not where you wanted an infection.
The cops in Kitty Corn's neighborhood arranged for an undercover agent to contact Kitty Corn and pose as a prospective client, and that's how they got him. He told the cops he was charging between $150 and $600 per procedure, depending on the amount of pubic hair he had to navigate during the operation. He's in a large amount of trouble because, and what was that proper math now? What answer did it?
Yeah, start that again, Wappel. That was pretty good.
It's 480.
480 patients, 480 penises he's worked on in 20 years. Now that he's been outed as a fake, literally every swinging D that he operated on in the last 20 years is going to sue his ass sideways. That's the story of Kitty Corn, the penis surgery child prodigy. Did I say that properly, Josh? Since he started when he was 14, do I call him a child prodigy?
Well, a prodigy would suggest he's really good at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
And he was just meant to do it.
Man was just doing what he loves.
Well, so you said that 480 penises he worked on?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up 5.9 inches is the average size of an erection. So he has gone through 2,832 inches of wiener in that amount of time.
8,000 some odd?
2,832 inches.
Can you put that into feet?
Let's see. Absolutely.
5.9 is the average erection? Mm-hmm. Oh, I got that buried.
All right. So here's the math skills. I divide that by 12, right?
Yes.
Okay. 236 feet.
Okay, compare that to. Can you compare that? No, seriously, because still, I'm no good at inches and feet. Would that be a football field? Would that be a basketball court? I have no idea.
Definitely.
Well, football field would be yards.
Well, no, but you can transfer yards to feet, Wappel. Let's just don't confuse things.
I guess there'd be 10 feet in a yard.
Wappel, you and I are the arithmetic guys.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
We'll stick to that. Josh will figure out what average everyday thing is 236 feet, so I can picture it better in my noggin.
There's 12. You said there's 12 feet in a yard.
I noticed that too. I was going to let it go.
Is that what he just said?
Yeah.
I said 10.
10 feet in the yard.
There's 10. It's like 3 point something or 3.
Wappel.
Just give up, Wappel.
No, I'm going to keep trying.
None of us are good at math, but you're especially bad at math.
I'm going to nail one of these.
Dude, again, to make you feel better, I didn't notice a thing.
I didn't hear that.
You could tell me what did you say? There are 10 feet in the yard?
Yes.
I would go with that. You and I would be the worst construction team in town. I don't know any better on any of this stuff either, Wappel. Wappel and Nick Construction. If you want everyone in your family to die, call Wappel and Nick Construction.
We don't know an inch from a centimeter.
If you and your friends want to die in a fish house, hire Wappel and Nick Construction. Because we'll build it for you, but as soon as you wet a line, it's going to come down on your head and everyone's going to die.
Yeah, we're going to be the hardest workers that you've ever had, but you might die.
You know what's great, Wappel? A lot of people are texting and said, you make them feel like a genius.
That's glad I can do that.
Yeah.
Dude.
I'm not that bad at math.
So 200, here's a listener who says 236 feet of penis. That's a little over 2/3 of a football field.
Yeah, somebody else said it's 2.5 basketball courts.
God dang.
That's a lot of wiener.
You said that already. But it works. It still works.
But I mean, now that I can visualize it, and
it is much easier to visualize now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now people are questioning, we've given you crap. You dug a 6-foot hole for a dog to bury a dog.
Yeah, how deep was that hole?
Now people
really?
were wondering how deep it really was.
No, it was 6 feet.
Yeah, you're not the guy to go to that anymore.
How tall are you? 6'5", 6'6"?
Oh, I'm 7 foot.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, kid. I'm telling you.
That was
awesome.
awesome.
There's nothing you could say that I would disagree with.
Maybe we should have a segment, Wappel's Math Corner.
A lot of people are saying their head has exploded from that segment. Mine did too. I went all over the place.
All right, like I said.
Maybe you shouldn't work nights anymore.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
There is a dark vibe today in the stupid news. Like I said earlier, how about another example of that? This here feller from over there in Vietnam. Did you folks know that dollars over there in Vietnam is called dong?
Yeah, there's some funny names for currency around the world.
Right there. That's all some of you need to come away from this stupid news report satisfied. And that's great. Have fun with that.
I'm easy to please.
Yeah, dollars over there are called dong. Anyway, this dude here, He got arrested, too, for stealing the bones from his dead uncle's grave. 37-year-old fella called Lou. He's the guy that did the digging up his old Uncle Don. He dug up Uncle Don, who had checked out 4 years ago. And here's where he was going with all that. The day after he dug up Uncle Don, Lou sent an anonymous, threatening text message to Uncle Don's wife, and he demanded payment for the return of the bones. And he warned her if she contacted the cops, they would never recover Uncle Don's bones again. Well, she wasn't too afraid, I guess, because she called the cops. And after a big mess, Lou admitted it was he who dug up Don. And his reasoning was damn pathetic. He said he's ass-deep in gambling debt, and the dead Uncle Bones money might have helped him get out from under.
Man,
I've been losing at the track, he says. That's why he went through all the work of digging up his Uncle Don's friggin' rotted bones.
Maybe Don was a douche.
Don could have been a douche.
Trying to make the story a little better.
Yeah, his overwhelming gambling debts were why he pulled the caper. Police recovered Don's bones and dumped them back into the holski. Disturbing isn't even a word. Disturbing a grave is considered highly disrespectful in Vietnamese tradition. It's believed to cause unrest, they call it, to the deceased soul, and it potentially impacts the living. They don't like that bit over there. So Lou is a goner. He's looking at probably over 20 years in prison for what he did with Uncle Don's bones.
So you mentioned earlier that for those of us that are easy to please, we might be just happy enough that the story mentioned dong. That's the name of their currency.
Yeah.
I looked up some other funny words in Vietnamese. To say shout, it's ho.
Mm-hmm.
And a common name, apparently, for girls over there is bitch. I'm sure that's pronounced differently, but B-I-C-H, which means jade or gemstone.
That is awesome.
And I can't say the word for happy or luck, but you can look that up.
Ho, ho, let it all out. These are the things Tears for Fears, 1985, I believe.
I like Tears for Fears.
Nobody likes Tears for Fears.
Really?
What?
Saw them in concert.
What about ho it out loud?
Ho it.
You like that song, don't you?
It's a great song. Kiss Destroyer, 1976.
Next time I have a stain on my shirt, I'll put a little ho on it.
Yeah. I had it and I lost it.
Well, then I'm going to...
Come now, children of the beast. Be strong and ho at the devil. Motley Crue, 1983.
That changes things in a really good way.
It does.
Quit hoeing at me. I'm going to have to start using that constantly.
This old bit always creates fun for everybody involved. A lady in awful England, her telephone was ringing off the damn hook one day here recently. She didn't know what the F was going on. Well, the reason why everybody was calling her up is that her damned obituary was posted online despite her being very much alive. The not dead lady, she's only 39 years old. She goes by the name of Faye. She saw the post online. There was her name and photograph in the obituary section. Damn, that would be strange. Right in there it said, send flowers to her grieving family. She's looking at a picture of herself with her stinking name in the obituary, section. She wrote something or another on Facebook to reassure her friends that she was alive. And then she emailed the local paper to say, okay, you guys, you screwed the pooch here. And she thinks this gong show happened because a post, if that's how you say it in the paper, an article was planned in the paper to celebrate her new business. She's got a hairdo joint. What do you call those people?
Stylist?
Stylist, sure. Her name and picture was scheduled to be in the paper to advertise her new business, but somehow her name got dumped into the obituaries. Are you following that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She said a few people saw that I was dead and thought it was hilarious. My son found it really funny. That would be funny. The newspaper there in Faye's town, they feel like jackasses over the whole thing. They said when she really dies, they'll give her family some free stuff.
How will she ever know? You know, they, like newspapers or media institutions, they'll pre-write some of that stuff, right? For somebody who's not doing so well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'll have an obituary written so they can be the first, they post it immediately. And I know that it's backfired a couple times. It's all the pre-written obituaries. They hear somebody's close to being on the way out.
F me. I did not know that. Josh, you got one of those ringy-dingy doorbell camera setups, right?
Yeah, something similar, I do.
Well, keep an eye on that pig.
Okay.
Because it says here now then, if you catch sight of a ghost on your Ring camera, you could get $100,000 for it.
Oh, sweet.
Ring, the folks who make the camera thing, they might
as well make it $1 million, right?
Well, it's kind of silly.
Yeah, but
they don't really mean what they're saying here. They do have $100,000 to spend, and I think they will spend it. But it's kind of silly. They don't really care if you have a real ghost. So Ring, the folks who make the cameras, they want their users to submit videos showing paranormal activity.
What?
Any form of paranormal activity, they say.
Take a look at what I captured on video this morning.
This is your Ring camera at your house this morning?
4:08 a.m.
4:08 a.m.? Well, it's a spider or an ant or something.
I don't know what that. Wait till it keeps coming.
Okay, it's a bug crawling.
That a stink bug?
Yeah, that is
Look
a stink.
At the size of that thing.
Yeah.
Gross.
Woo!
That's one of those stink bugs I have all over my house. But it's kind of creepy.
This is terrifying.
It crawled right over your Ring camera. It looked like one of them old 50s sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just base it on this thing's like 40 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Or if you base it on a Wappel man.
I would believe it.
So here's where they're going with this. They're not really looking for ghosts. I mean, if you get one, great. But they're looking for kind of cutesy family stuff. They say from supernatural sightings of floating orbs to family and friends wearing silly costumes. If you find a ghost, we want to see it, they say at Ring. So it'll be a cute, fun thing that they're doing. Finn Wolfhard? That's a real person's name?
Yeah, actor. He was in Stranger Things, the new Ghostbusters.
Never saw it.
He was in a video of Ninja Sex Party.
Oh, sweet.
I did see that.
Finn Wolfhard, actor, and a paranormal investigator by the name of Christina something. They will serve as the judges for the Ring Great Ghost Search, and the two of them will help select the winning entry. So someone's going to get $100,000. So get to work on this, Cubby. Do something funny.
I don't have a Ring cam. I've got a doorbell cam, but not a Ring one.
Oh, I see. I see.
I'm out.
You got the cheap one. Did you get the cheap one?
It's about the same.
Well,
it's the cheap one.
I still... It's okay. It's okay. You pay top dollar for everything else. I mean, look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, I got a free sweatshirt that Wappel bought me, my Fleet Farm shirt.
High roller.
I've got some basketball shorts that you can tell by the faded logo I've had probably 20 years.
Those friggin' basketball shorts. For God's sake. I can't wait for winter. Put some pants on, for Christ's sake.
No, I'm wearing them. I got these shoes that our boss bought me. Son of a bitch, I haven't paid for any of this.
No, you're wearing all free clothing.
Yeah,
underwear. I've had them since high school.
I was going to say, what about the underwear?
But my socks are only a couple months old. I wore holes in all the rest of them.
I'm going to need a grown man to put on some pants at one point or another, okay?
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You gotta tell me, why in the world would you do the Masked Singer?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I was definitely not in my comfort zone doing this, but, I'm in retirement now.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity and took advantage of it.
Good for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true legend.
we didn't get to hear the guy sing. That was John Elway. Apparently, he appeared on a television show called The Masked Singer. What did he sing?
I'm not sure what song he sang.
I don't know.
We have to take it out of the podcast.
He sang a song by Tim McGraw, a country song.
I know all the Tim McGraw songs.
Name one. I like it. I love it. Yeah, you're right.
No, I had it. I was going to get there. What was that one called again? The Ookie Dookie Shuffle. What the hell was that one? Achy Breaky Heart.
Oh.
No.
Tim McGraw, big hit,
I don't think that
early
was it.
90s. You Can Tell My Heart, My Ache. That was Tim McGraw.
No.
John Elway is interesting because he still has the same speaking voice he did when he was drafted into the NFL in 1983. You know what I mean? Most guys, when they get older, like take Al Pacino, for example. When Al Pacino was a young actor is how you say it. Oh, they talk like this, Al Pacino, when he was young. Al Pacino, I'm dying over here, right? Now he's down here. John Elway, his balls never dropped. Interesting to me. The rest of you, you're looking at porn sites. You don't care. That's interesting to me. The guy's balls never dropped.
It kind of surprised me, the level of stars they're able to get on the show. The show seems kind of silly to me, but...
They must have a lot of cash laying around.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. And why does Nick Cannon always yell? Is it because all the kids...
He's very excitable.
At him?
Never saw the show. Is he a yeller?
He seems to yell quite a bit.
Well, there's good news. The Twins finally drove in some runs when they desperately needed to. They also went ahead and won a ball game last night when they desperately needed to. They beat the Miami Marlins 8-3. The problem is the ball clubs that they're chasing in the wild card race also won their ball games. So
Nuts.
The boys are still a factor, but time's running out. 2 games out, 4 to go. We'll get into this with Randy Shaver. Who else is joining us at 7:30? C Willi Myles.
He'll be here.
But don't go anywhere. It's because Josh's news is coming up next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The guy who got insulted pulled his weapon and started shooting to the other guy. Shot after shot, shot after shot.
A 54-year-old man was involved in a violent dispute in Fort Lauderdale early Monday over a jukebox song at a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, no.
The argument began about 1:30 a.m. when one man insulted another over his music choice. According to witnesses, the situation escalated quickly. The man who made the insult pulled his gun first, but the other man near the jukebox at the Mexican restaurant fired back, leading to nacho average gunfight.
Played a song, and the other guy kind of was pissed off and told the guy and say, "Hey, you're not real Mexican because you're playing that music."
Authorities are reviewing security footage of the queso combat as part of their investigation and hoping to identify the shooter.
Hey, man, a jukebox brawl, huh?
Haven't you seen an argument or two over
karaoke?
Jukebox? Oh, it's karaoke. That's what it was?
A karaoke brawl was one of my favorite memories of drinking out in public over the years. Yeah, one guy. Well, it was a billiard argument that then spilled into karaoke. And the great part about it was the fight started because one dude got on the mic. It was his turn to sing karaoke. And instead of singing the legit lyrics, he sang insults to the guy he just had the billiard argument with. Are you following how
that's pretty fun?
That's kind of awesome, though.
And the best part about it was one dude was 77 years old and the other one was 22.
Oh.
You know, so it was just perfect in every way.
What one was singing the insult?
The young kid.
It would have been cooler if it was the 70-year-old guy.
The young kid got up there and sang some insults. We had a lot of laughs with that.
For some reason, I thought you told a story about a buddy of yours like playing over and over and over a song just to troll some people in the bar. Maybe there was somebody else that told that story.
I've seen that happen,
Yeah, I've seen it happen too.
Oh,
It's a
I've had
classic.
that happen to me.
You're thinking of leaving Las Vegas.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, there was a couple that got too drunk the night before a trip to Las Vegas, and they were bragging in the bar the prior day. Well, we're going to Vegas while the rest of you slobs sit around this terrible bar.
Cool.
And they got annihilated. And I don't think they ever went to bed and then got a ride straight to the airport in the morning, still annihilated. And they got their bags packed. They're all excited. And when they got to the door of the airplane, the flight attendant said, "You're too drunk to get on this plane." And so when we heard this story, and then the couple comes back to that bar that we're all, such jackasses for hanging out at this bar, they're going to Vegas. When they walked in, we all sang and played Leaving Las Vegas by Elvis Presley until they snapped. It was a nice little gimmick we had going.
Fun.
Me and my buddies, we were at a bar, and we were having some drinks and lunch, and What's New Pussycat just kept playing over and over again on the touch tunes. And everyone in the bar was thinking it was us because we thought it was kind of funny, so we were laughing at it. Turns out it was someone that was at their house, and they were controlling the touch tunes, constantly playing What's New Pussycat.
I love when people do that, though. That's a fun bit.
Isn't that fascinating how folks can do that?
Yeah, technology. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Oh, I wonder, I have some credits on my touch tunes right now. I wonder if there's anything in range where I can play music.
Give it a shot.
7-Eleven.
Yeah, a lot of bars open right now.
People serve breakfast.
A day on the golf course turned into a brutal brawl, landing a blowhard behind bars. And another golfer hit in the head so hard he was seeing birdies. A little after 1 p.m. Friday at the links at Heartland Crossing Golf Course, just outside of Indianapolis, deputies from the Morgan County Sheriff's Office showed up and found the victim sitting in the back of an ambulance. The victim said he and some friends went into the clubhouse to grab some food after finishing the front nine. While inside, a group of 2 men and a woman cut in front of them and went to the 10th tee. The victim admitted he had some choice words for the group, pointing out that they weren't showing proper golf etiquette by playing through without asking. So, Wappel, you're a golfer. I was going to ask you, if you go to a restaurant, you can, people are going to the clubhouse, people aren't supposed to play through?
No, they can.
You can, but I mean, you should ask.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess I don't play golf. I didn't realize that was a thing.
But I mean, it does make sense to let them play through because, I mean, if they're not getting a dog at the turn.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I would kind of be like, oh, okay, well, hopefully they don't hold us up all day. But that's a weird thing to get mad at.
According to the affidavit, the woman flipped him off and went back to her group crying. A few minutes later, her husband, 34-year-old Jerry Whitaker, got in the victim's face, demanding an apology for calling his wife, and I'm sorry, the C word.
Oh,
that's a big one.
Well, I mean,
that's one
that's why she was crying.
That's one of several words I will never use.
That lets folks know that you're pretty serious.
Yeah. Unless if you're across the pond.
Yeah, they throw that in the UK, right? They throw that out like it's The victim refused, and Whitaker punched him in the face multiple times. Witnesses told cops the victim fell down, but Whitaker picked him up and slammed him to the ground, causing the victim to lose consciousness, and maybe even more frightening, he stopped breathing for a few seconds. He was bleeding badly from the forehead, and once at the hospital, doctors discovered he had several broken ribs, a punctured lung, and a fractured vertebrae in his back.
Boy, he took a beating.
Yeah, he did. He also needed stitches for the gash on his forehead. Whitaker won't be wandering the links anytime soon. Cops cuffed the grouchy golfer and carted him to jail.
I think it's great that she cried, though. I think that's hilarious. Get some tougher skin. You've never been called that before?
I can't imagine ever calling someone that and then thinking I wouldn't get a beating such as this. A Colorado man got into a heated argument over hot sauce in a Denver home Sunday and stabbed a guy. Someone in the house wanted to spice things up with a sandwich and asked where the hot sauce was. 19-year-old George Vigil told him where it was. And it was in a place where you might expect a condom, not a condiment, an upstairs bedroom. For some reason, the hot sauce situation cranked up a couple of Scoville units, and the victim challenged Vigil to a fight. Vigil, who perhaps the victim didn't know carries a switchblade at all times, took a swing with the blade, and things went from mild to wild, police said. Authorities showed up after the stabbing and took the victim to a local hospital. Hot sauce. A 35-year-old LAPD officer learned an embarrassing lesson that MRI machines and metal don't mix after his rifle decided to make a dramatic magnet-fueled entrance during a botched pot raid and stuck to the machine. That must have been so embarrassing.
I was hoping it was going to be a butt plug.
A lawsuit filed by the owners of a Los Angeles diagnostic center claims LAPD wrongly raided their medical image business in last October, thinking it was a secret cannabis grow operation because of high energy use and a distinct odor of weed. They didn't find any plants, just regular medical facilities with x-rays, CT scans, and MRIs. Things took a turn when a 30-year-old officer walked into an MRI room, rifle dangling, unsecured, ignoring the big no metal sign at the door. The MRI strong magnet yanked the rifle across the room, pinning it to the machine. Then, in a panic, another officer hit the emergency button, shutting the machine down. Unfortunately, though, that released thousands of liters of helium gas and caused some serious damage.
Oh, no.
The owners are now suing, claiming their rights were trampled and demanding damages for the, quote, disorganized circus that wrecked their business.
There goes that MRI machine. Just completely destroyed.
Lucky everybody didn't get killed.
I know. Yeah. Thankfully, no one was
gun
injured.
Didn't go off.
A 33-year-old woman who made herself at home by cooking a shrimp and pasta dinner at a stranger's house in Wisconsin has been arrested for burglary. The 52-year-old resident arrived home late Tuesday night to find the lights on and someone else inside.
Madison police found the suspect calmly walking around inside the home after that resident had called police. When asked why she was there, MPD says the suspect provided a detailed story claiming that she had met the resident earlier in the day at a coffee shop, and the resident gave her keys to be inside, even using the name of the woman who lived there.
She told officers she had permission to be in the house from the resident. She did not. In addition to cooking a meal, she inspected mail and other items to learn the resident's name and made up a story, police said. The woman who actually lives there insisted to officers she never met the pasta prowler, who was later jailed. Her mugshot's something to see. That's up on 93x.com.
Does she look like a crazy person?
She looks like she was having a day, for sure, an off day.
I got to swing by that 93x.com.
A 30-year-old candle crook is facing charges after getting caught stealing candles again. Destiny Moore was busted Saturday for pilfering 30 pricey pillars from a popular shop in Kansas City.
Put the candle back.
Oh, but she didn't, and now she's in some major trouble. Cops collared the candle klepto and her companion as they casually cruised out without coughing up cash. Police say Moore's been mixed up in more than 25 documented deeds, darting in and out of different stores, sometimes solo, sometimes with sidekicks, all to snatch some waxy wonders from various stores. The grand total of these flagrant felonies, $25,000.
Dude, what?
25 grand.
In candles.
In candles, yeah.
And get in the candle business.
That was only several hundred candles. I mean, not that that's a small amount of candles, but that's just how much these things cost.
Candles are spendy.
They found her identity thanks to her body shape, telling tattoos, familiar face, and she never wore a mask to muffle her mischief. Court documents reveal Moore was convicted of a felony theft just hours before the most recent incident.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird when you hear sometimes people with these big money-making schemes on stuff you'd never really think of.
I'm not going to jail for candles.
No, not at all.
Caught me waxed-handed.
That's weak.
Waxing it. In further candle news, we've got an update on a wee problem an Indiana store is having regarding a peculiar trend. And unfortunately, the update is that there's no update. Dollar Tree in South Bend hasn't found any more suspected urine in their candles. That's good, since police were alerted earlier this month. You may remember September 5th, a shopper reported her 10-year-old daughter got splashed with what she believed was urine while sniffing a candle.
We're smelling candles. She picked up a candle to smell and tilted it back. Liquid went down her. And at first we're like, maybe it's just water. As we're walking through the store, we get a foul smell.
The liquid's color, taste, and smell made her think it was urine, though police haven't confirmed this yet. An assistant manager said he'd only been present for 2 of the incidents, but there have been more, with an exact number still unclear. Police say the surveillance cameras don't cover the candle aisle, making it hard to catch the culprit.
This is ridiculous.
I'm not going to jail for piss and candles.
Throughout history, criminals have tried every trick in the book to avoid facing consequences for their personal misdeeds, pointing fingers at anything and anybody to shift blame elsewhere. But in the digital age, a new scapegoat has emerged: artificial intelligence. In the ultimate 2024 defense, a 27-year-old business management master's student in Scotland blamed ChatGPT for him stalking a McDonald's employee. It wasn't his fault. The suspect met a woman while working as a delivery driver. She worked at McDonald's. One night earlier this year, he approached the woman at 11 p.m. while she was taking out some trash, asking for her number, saying he was too shy to do it in front of others. The woman said she felt scared when he approached her, saying that he'd been watching her at work. After trying again to ask her out and being ignored, he showed up at her workplace and ordered a shake. The prosecutor suggested he was trying to engineer contact, but he claimed he was just there for the drink. That night, the man explained he used ChatGPT to get advice. He told the court the AI bot suggested he message the woman again, which he did using text suggested by ChatGPT.
Sure.
His message read, "Hey, I hope you are well. I understand that my messages may make you feel uncomfortable." And then he also asked to meet again. The prosecutor asked, "Are you saying ChatGPT told you to?" And he responded that yes, ChatGPT suggested he send the message, and he thought it would be better to listen to the AI.
Oh, shut up.
Boy, some of you spend way too much time on the internet.
He will be sentenced next month.
Way too much time.
Schoolhouse rock went all radioactive at an Oklahoma high school. Authorities were called to Owasso High School's East Campus Monday morning after a 17-year-old student brought a radioactive rock to school. About 10 a.m., police and fire arrived at the school after reports of multiple students handling that rock. Officials said the student who brought it seemed knowledgeable about radioactivity and thought it was unlikely to pose any danger. However, officials evacuated the immediate area and requested help from the Tulsa Fire Department's hazmat unit. The team arrived within minutes and used specialized equipment to test the rock and surrounding area, determining it was safe. While the rock registered a slight level of radioactivity, the hazmat team said it was they still needed to blow it up. So the rock was handed over to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol bomb unit for disposal.
Did any of the kids grow claws or something out of their hand?
No, they said it was probably fine, but just to be on the safe side.
Gather around, dorks. I've got the radioactive rock I was telling you about.
A bomb squad was called to a home in Dayton, Ohio Monday after a curious cat found a suspicious item in the basement. The curious cat caused quite the commotion when it discovered a grenade. Police said the homeowners were renovating when their feline friend pounced on what looked like a hand grenade, pausing the renovations. They called police, and investigators determined the grenade needed to be disposed of in order to avoid a catastrophe. No word on where the grenade had come from.
I'll be.
Already known for its prolific powder, Colorado may be snorting its way to a new reputation. The Centennial State bumped itself back into the nation's top spot for cocaine use. The latest national survey on drug use and health listed Colorado as the #1 state for adult cocaine consumption.
It's all those skiers. They're always all whipped up on coke.
Yeah, they got the money for it, too.
State rankings put Colorado's cocaine use above East Coast powerhouses like Vermont, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, places where white powder usually refers to snowstorms, not the kind you're snowplowing up your nose. Even California, with all its Hollywood parties, ranked 5th. This marks the second time in 3 years Colorado tops the country in cocaine sniffing. As for which of our neighbors' nostrils have the most nose nuggets, turns out plenty of cheeseheads are crackheads, as Wisconsin leads the Midwest in cocaine consumption. They took the 22nd spot in the nation. Elsewhere, Minnesota ranks 25th, North Dakota at 36th, Iowa at number 38, and like showering, cocaine's not too popular in South Dakota. The Mount Rushmore state took the 47th spot. Wyoming does the least coke in the country.
I'm glad you gave it up.
Me? Yeah. It just couldn't do it anymore. I can't keep up with the Coloradans.
It wasn't you. That's what, when you used to do cocaine, that's what always came to mind for me. It just wasn't you.
I was a different guy.
Yeah.
I was a different guy. I used to wear a vest, no shirt on underneath it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That was a good look, though.
It just, you never saw him when he went that low. You didn't wear it well.
It was a low point in my life, that's for sure. But I have given it up.
What's going on? You crying?
Old habits. Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies. Linda Hamilton, 68. Call back to our stupid news, but want to give a out. A congratulations to our pal Chris Lindahl, who had got engaged recently.
Oh, no way. I like how this is how I'm finding out.
Yeah, aren't you related to his now fiance?
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, my wife told me she saw it on social media, so I hope it's not something that's not true. Happy first anniversary to a guy I've had to remind he's married for the majority of the last 365 days.
Jesus.
Nick and his stunningly beautiful, quick-witted, and exceptionally intelligent, whore-hating wife. Happy first anniversary to you guys.
Isn't that something?
Happy 8th birthday to Isabel, and happy 53rd birthday to her dad, Tate. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver. That is the gentleman who showed me his butthole.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Line to right field, that's a base hit. Correa scores. Larnach is in. Lewis has the green light. He's on his way to the plate. The throw not in time.
Yeah, it's Randy Shaver. The ass man is back. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice. And also Randy Shaver in studio, the filthiest comic in town.
That's what I hear.
He's been thrown out of every club because he just can't behave himself. C Willi Myles is here. Good morning, C Willi.
Beautiful intro, brother.
That's right. Absolutely right. C Willi Myles, what's going on, man?
Not much, brother.
Good seeing you as always.
Always good to see you guys. I just come in just to listen to Randy.
Oh, yeah, we're all here for Randy.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
I wonder why he can't be in the studio. I mean, he's done now. He's got no reason not to be here.
What do you mean?
You're not the only one that wonders that.
Oh, really?
Well. Looks like
Wappel, enough with the bell, dude.
Are you...
Wappel!
Wappel, please.
Sorry.
Are you starting an intervention here, Wappel, or what's going on?
No.
What are we talking about?
Wappel, you want to tell everyone how they feel with Randy's lack of action coming in studio, or is that what's going on?
I've always wondered why he doesn't show up as well.
Because he's retired. He can do whatever he wants.
I love Randy. I would love to see him in studio once in a while.
We'd love to see you in studio, Randy.
See that ass.
I'm sure you would love to see me in studio.
All of you. Every little inch of you.
But that's not going to change any of the conversation, so it's just easier to hear from home.
I'm not coming. I am not coming.
Would you be willing to make a couple of trades, Nick, for who comes in studio and who doesn't?
Explain. How does this work?
You make a trade. You have Randy come in, and who do you give up?
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wow, that's real easy. Me.
Randy's here, you're there.
I'll sit at home with $18 broadcast equipment, and Randy can show up every day. That's an easy trade. Want to switch with me, Randy?
No.
No switchies? Randy says no switchies, Josh.
Everything is good here.
He likes the way things operate.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, there you go. Good news and bad news for the Twins, right, Randy Shaver?
Yeah, the good news is they were down 3-0 and battled their way back and won a nice game last night against the Marlins. The bad news is during that game, both Kansas City and Detroit won. So
why won't these other clubs cooperate?
Well, I think those other two clubs smell the opportunity to make the postseason, and they know that they've got a pretty good vice grip on those final two spots. I really don't see, especially the Tigers, because we know how they're going to finish. Kansas City's a little bit different. Kansas City's going to have to go in. They play one today in Washington, and then they've got to go into Atlanta. And that Atlanta series could get pushed back because of the residue left over from the hurricane.
That's a gong show down there.
So there's a conversation right now that the Kansas City Royals Atlanta series might not start on Friday. It might get pushed back, and that would cause, I guess, a little bit more patience on everybody's part to kind of figure out the final playoff spot in the American League.
The weather is so bad down Georgia, Florida. There's a hurricane coming through town.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That I read that with the Atlanta Braves having an outdoor ballpark, They got a series going right now with the New York Metropolitans, and that's a big series from what I understand. It'll determine.
Well, yeah, the Mets are in the playoff chase too.
Right.
Yeah.
The weather is so bad, and then like Randy Shaver, this Kansas City series is supposed to happen there down in Atlanta's ballpark, this Royals series. They might end up, if the weather continues to be bad, the Braves might end up having to play 5 games in 3 days or something like that. They might end up playing on Monday, and the playoffs. That's a sure thing. They're playing on Monday?
It is. I think they're doing a normal doubleheader on Monday with the Mets. The Mets have to fly back down to Atlanta to play on Monday. So that is a done deal.
A lot of pressure being put on those clubs to get the regular season out of the way, and then they may or may not have to fly somewhere else when the playoffs start the next day. So that could be something to see.
I mean, if neither team was in the playoff chase, I don't even think they would bother. But because both teams need these games, they have to play them.
They would just cancel the ball games and get a cover band to show up or something. You know what I mean? Forget about baseball. The weather's too terrible. Well, is there a cover band? We got beer here. We might as well have some kind of a party, you know.
But, I mean, Kansas City can take care of some things today. Michael Walk is going up against Patrick Corbin, who's been so bad for Washington. So, you know, both Detroit and Kansas City play noon games today. So by the time the Twins lace them up at 6:40, they're going to know exactly where they sit. They won't have to do any scoreboard watching. They'll know where they are.
So, yes, absolutely. So C. Willi Myles wanted to bust chops right away that Randy Shaver's retired, and he still won't come into the radio studio. I got a text from Skydive Jesus here that says, Randy Shaver is the only person who comes into work less than Ashley.
Wow. Wow.
Man, Ash didn't see that bus coming in. Transfer for that.
Ashley over there catching strays.
Yeah, I think she's aware at any time. It's not.
Yeah. That was kind of, I knew that before I even started working here.
Wow.
As far as last night's Twins game goes, it was just really nice to see them get big hits in big situations. It was nice to see a friggin' home run. They hadn't hit a home run in I don't know how long.
It'd been something like 60
innings or something?
60 innings or something like that. Yeah, it'd been since last week. Like
Buxton hit just a mega dong, like 450 feet.
Right.
They beat the Marlins, like we discussed. No one else wanted to cooperate.
But I mean,
so
they
gained no ground.
They had a battle back, though, too.
Yes.
I mean, if you showed up at the ball game on time last night and saw Berger hit the 3-run homer and you're going, oh, my God, here we go again. I mean, you had to be pleased with the way that they kind of battled their way back, got the 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th to kind of put things away. But, I mean, this goes back to the conversation we had yesterday about these young pitchers are put in this position right now.
Hello.
You know, you had Simeon Woods Richardson last night. You got David Festa. You've got Zebby Matthews. You've got these young guys who don't have this type of experience, right? Where the season's on the line kind of stuff. So,
and of course, if you listen to yesterday's show, you know I put all the blame on the trade deadline. So anyway,
right, and rightly so.
Speaking of Simeon Woods Richardson, so he has a terrible outing. I love this kid's attitude, though. After the game, he had a terrible outing. What did he last? An inning and a third? It's awful.
It was not good, yeah.
But after the game, someone asked him about, hey, man, you know, you weren't so good tonight. And he said, the bullpen did their job. We got a great team win. We never gave up. Every pitch, every out, every quality at-bat, we never gave up. I love this kid. I really do. Yep. Every time I hear this Simeon Woods Richardson talk, he just sounds like a cool kid who understands the big picture. So they'll go tonight, the final with Miami. You mentioned David Festa. He's going to start it up.
Yep.
And, I mean, 2 games out, 4 games to play. Obviously, it doesn't look very good. We need the Royals and Tigers and Mariners and everyone else. Everyone else just keep losing.
They only need one of those teams to lose today.
Right.
Right? They only need one of them. If one of them loses and the Twins win, then they're within a game. And, again, reminding everybody they hold the tiebreaker on both teams. So that's all they need. And the Twins probably will have to run the table. They'll probably have to win 4 straight. in order for this to happen, because Detroit and Kansas City are playing teams that they likely, well, Detroit for sure is going to do well, but Kansas City is the team that the Twins have to have their eyes on right now.
Run it. Run a train on them. Or you said run the table.
Run the table is what I said.
Is there a difference, Josh, between running the table and running a train?
In my mind, yes.
Yes.
If I had to choose between the two, I'd take the first one.
Yes.
All right. We'll keep cheering on those Twins, by God. We know C. Willi Myles' mother-in-law, she'll keep cheering on those Twins.
Bernie, man, she was texting us all last night. She keeps us abreast of what's happening. Like we don't have a TV.
Yeah.
she really does. I mean, she's
that's
like
awesome.
Play by play, man.
You ever tell her, like, look, Mama, or I'm watching the game for Pete's sake?
I tell her sometimes. I say, Mama, honestly, I want to care. I just don't.
You don't care?
I don't. I care when I'm sitting there with you watching it, because to watch a 94-year-old woman root for a baseball team and they lose, and how disappointed she is.
She takes it hard.
It's the saddest thing.
Why are you laughing like that then?
It's a sympathy laugh. I do that sometimes. Yeah.
Because it's sad. Because she comes right back the next day. She's back in the game.
We
man.
got this.
She won't quit.
I also enjoy watching the elderly struggle. I do.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun for me.
She gets so angry, and she just goes, you're stupid. And this pitcher, when he comes, as soon as the pitcher comes out of the dugout, she says, oh my God, I'm going to make cookies. He's just going to give up a home.
She'd just rather make cookies than watch a man.
And I'd rather have her make cookies.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you want a bad bullpen performance.
Absolutely.
That means cookies.
And every day she comes right back the next day, and she's in there with him, 10 toes down.
She has a short memory.
Very.
You have to forget about the bad. And
they suck, and then they say, oh my God, they were so awesome tonight.
My damn, listen to this. What a mess. 18-year-old kid who was at the Shohei Ohtani 50-50 game in Miami last week. He is suing over possession of the baseball. If you missed it last week, Ohtani, first player in big league history to hit 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a season. He had this incredible game in Miami. Some really do say it was the greatest performance a player's ever had in one game.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, what was it again? 6 for 6, 10
3
RBI.
3 home runs, 2 stolen bases.
Yes, he hit his 49th, 50th, and 51st home run of the year, stole his 50th and 51st base, maybe arguably the greatest game in baseball history.
Yeah.
That 50th home run when it went into the bleachers. I've been waiting on this to find out what's going on with that baseball. 18-year-old kid is suing because he said he had the ball, it was in his possession, and an older man ripped the ball from his hands.
I saw that.
You saw what?
I saw that video.
Did you actually see the video? Did the guy actually do that?
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
I didn't realize that at all.
There was a massive dog pile for that ball.
Oh,
see, I heard.
Sure.
Okay, Wappel, I heard there wasn't really that much evidence in that video that shows the kid had possession.
You could see the kid was there first, and then he kind of reached down, and then he kind of had it, and then that's when the dog pile happened.
Well, see,
and
but
then that's kind of when everything went awry.
Kind of tough to tell.
The thing is, they're going to use that video in court.
Exactly.
Oh, that's not going to work then.
I heard that the video shows.
Maybe there's another one.
Okay. So the kid says an older man ripped the ball from his hands. Now, that older man has given that ball over to Golden Auctions. However that all works. The starting price is $500,000. Starts tomorrow. So the 18-year-old is now suing to prevent the auction from taking place because he believes he had the ball stolen from his hands. He has attorneys. They're suing. The older man's name is Chris Belansky, who stands to make a fortune. There's some other individual involved that the attorney for this 18-year-old is suing. The suit says that the young kid named Max Mattis was able to firmly grab the ball in his left hand, successfully obtaining possession of the baseball. Then the older man wrapped his legs around his arm and used his hands to pry the ball out of the kid's hands, stealing the ball for himself. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm prepared for anything if I'm in that situation.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't feel like that baseball is mine until I'm home.
Exactly.
And I'm fondling it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Barsaw
even when I'm home, I'm locking it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Right.
I'm not going home.
Somebody might follow you. Yeah, well, so, the kid did have it. It was just tough to tell who actually got there first.
Mm-hmm. So,
if you want to buy it outright, sir, it starts at $500,000 for the bidding. $4.5 million is what they want. If you just want to buy it.
Yep. Wow. If you want to buy it outright, just give them $4.5 million in trade.
I saw that Otani's just 40-40 balls going for $40,000 too. That's insane.
The Dodgers offered $300,000 straight up for the ball, but instead, this what's his name again? Chris Belansky, the older cat. He's going to go with the auction route.
Oh, definitely.
It's a little silly that this is going to court.
It's
too bad.
Seems kind of ridiculous.
I feel bad for the kid.
Yep.
But at the same time, man, these days, with how much money that stuff will fetch, you got to be prepared for a knife fight in the streets for that friggin' baseball. It sucks that that's the way things operate these days. But
you would think, though,
everybody's got dollar signs in their eyes. Yes, Ashley.
You would think if this, if it was more obvious that this actually happened, like the kid really did have it, that the people around them, this would have came out when it happened. Like the people around him would have been yeah, this kid had it first.
Maybe it did, and the lawsuit. It probably takes a little bit to write up a lawsuit.
If I were standing nearby, it's not like I'm going to call the local papers and say, well, I think I know. I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? I didn't catch it, so who cares?
I wonder how much they bought their tickets for in that section.
Me too.
It has to be a little less, though, because it wasn't like a game that everyone thought he was going to do it at. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
So they could have got those tickets for $40.
My favorite part of the video is that there's a group of guys with their back turned when it happens. And they turn around oh my gosh, wait, do it again. Give me a chance.
You guys have probably watched those videos. There was this baseball slut who was running wild. At ball games, this dude who showed up at it didn't even have to be a meaningful game as long as there was a meaningful player on the field that night. He would hang around like a guy like Aaron Judge, even if the Yankees were playing Milwaukee in a meaningless game. He would show up, probably some trust fund baby who didn't have a real job, and he would just hover around. I've seen videos of him straight up taking a baseball away from an unsuspecting fan who thought, yay, I caught this home run ball. He'd walk up and go, weep, nope, mine. Or he'd cut in front of a kid with his mitt and snatch it out of the sky because that's his habit. That's his drug, is collecting these meaningful baseballs and trying to make money off of it.
Yeah.
I think his name's Zach Hampel.
Yeah.
I've seen the story on the guy.
He has Alex Rodriguez's 3,000th career hit and Mike Trout's first home run.
Yeah, that's him. I don't know if that's the correct name, but I just call him the baseball slut. Here's the deal. To no one's surprise, last night's, what day is it today? Thursday? So this would have been, I think, Tuesday night. Some Oakland Athletics fans, because this is their last series. Tonight is their last game in that garbage stadium, Oakland County Coliseum. But Tuesday night, game one of their 3-game series with the Texas Rangers, there were Oakland Athletics fans removing seats from the ballpark, like we talked to Dick Bramer about on Tuesday.
Yep. Yeah.
These people, and let them do it. I hope there's no one trying to stop these people.
No.
Take whatever you want. Let them go. Let them go. They're removing sections of seats and bringing it out to the car. Some of the video was kind of fun to watch. What was interesting but not shocking was a lot of those seats came out of their moorings like you were flicking a bug off of it.
Yeah, I don't think they needed tools. They didn't bring in the whole tool chest.
A lot of the sections of that stadium are so rotted that the seats could just be lifted up with your bare hands and removed. Let them go.
Hand demolition.
Yes. Let them have fun
No
with that.
tools required.
Ashley, to your point about why other people didn't say anything with that kid in the baseball, Hawkeye lawyer Jesus checked in. He said he's a trial lawyer. Most witnesses don't come forward because they don't really want to get involved in a lawsuit. It takes a lot of convincing to get some of them to talk.
Like I said, I wouldn't step up and say anything for anybody. Yeah, I want no
You're
part
on
of that.
your own.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that mess.
I wasn't even there. What are you talking about?
Wait,
Sir, we have you on video. Nope.
I was the one that caught the ball.
Well, Josh knows what legendary home run ball I caught.
Kirby Puckett's ball?
Kirby Puckett's 1991 Game 6 home run off of Charlie Liebrandt. It's a story I'm sticking with.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Story I'm sticking with.
Right.
All right, more bad news
I
about...
was almost down that rabbit hole, man. I was about to.
I saw the way you were looking at me.
I know.
Like,
Same here, Willie. I'm so gullible.
I'm thinking, no, I'm better than this. I'm not going there. I almost said, for real, man?
Well, Nick, tell them why they used to call me Mr. Baseball back in the day.
When Cubby was a kid, they called him Mr. Baseball because of the stitches in his face. Who do we give credit to again?
Emo Phillips.
Emo Phillips. When I was telling that absolute lie about me catching Kirby Puckett's legendary Game 6 91 home run, C. Willi finally looked at me as if I was worthwhile.
You was somebody.
He looked at me as if to say,
it was fleeting. It
Yeah.
didn't last long. I was like, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was quick.
Now
Right.
he's
That was a blink and you missed it moment.
He's back to looking at me sideways. More bad news about old quarterbacks. Former Vikings quarterback Tommy Kramer announced that he has dementia. Diagnosed a year ago. That's a terrible thing. 1 year ago, doctors gave him from 2 to 10 years to live. But he did recently have his yearly checkup, and doctors said he is doing fine. He said he's not asking for sympathy. He said, I lived a great life. I wouldn't change a damn thing. Nobody wanted to win more than me, and I never gave up, and that's exactly how I'm going to battle this. Football is the life we chose to live, and sometimes stuff like this can happen.
Yep.
That is really sad to learn, but Tommy's a tough cat.
Yep.
And I think he's going to stick around for a while.
I had lunch with Tommy Kramer a couple of years ago, and he's a little bit slower in the conversation than he's been than I remember, obviously, but still full of some incredibly funny stories and the memories that he has of things that happened to him in his football career are still pretty vivid. But he does move a little bit slower. I mean, the hits that he took, the life that he led, certainly did a number on his body. But he's still, at least in the conversations I've had with him, he's still the same Tommy. So
he came to one of my bar gigs last year.
Yeah,
awesome.
Cool.
Like on purpose, or he just happened to?
No, he was just at the bar that I was at.
You can't phrase it that way then.
You're not telling people that story, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. Speaking of tall stories, okay, so fine, I didn't catch Kirby's home run, and
Right.
it was the guy in front of me.
It's an epidemic around here.
It was the guy. But there is one legendary sports story about me that is true. That is true, C. Willi Myles. I'm who Jim Craig was looking for in 1980.
Oh, gosh, no.
How many saves did he make that game?
Oh, 85.
Yeah.
In the third period
In the
alone.
third period. I'm who Jim Craig was looking for in the stands.
No, you're not.
Thank you for that joke, 2 pumps and a squeeze, Jesus.
That's hilarious.
All right, Vikings stuff. He got 3 sacks against his former team last Sunday, so Vikings pass rusher Jonathan Greenhard has been named the NFC Defensive Player of the Weekington.
Fake the handoff. Stroud gets crushed. It is Grenard with revenge on his mind.
Dude, I guess he did.
He was a beast.
He's got 4 sacks on the season. He had 3 there against the Texans. And the Vikings defense is playing very well. And they take on the Packers in Green Bay on Sunday. What's going to happen in that ball game, C. Willi Myles, former outstanding collegiate athlete?
The Vikings are going to win, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Are they playing in Lambeau?
Yeah, they
Yes,
decided.
they
are.
They decided this time in Green Bay they're going to play at Lambeau. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed
to the other
field down the
majestic
street.
buildings they have in that town. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a away game or a home game.
No, it's an away game.
So, yeah. No, I like what the Vikings are doing right now. They got some pretty good chemistry going right now. I like that. And I think they're but, Green Bay looked really good last week, though, actually. And Malik, that kid can play. I really think Tennessee made a mistake. They gave up on that kid too quick.
Well, but is he going to play or is it going to be Dinkus?
I don't know.
We don't know.
They haven't officially
he
said
looked really good. But hopefully they can get Jordan Love back. I mean, he's the wheel down there. But at the end of the day, I think the Vikings defense is just right now. They're really, really good. They play like they played last week. I really see them winning.
All right, I'm hearing you.
And then that's it.
And then that's it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win.
Oh, after that,
One more win for the season.
I'm kidding.
this Sunday will be their final victory of the season.
That's it. And they'll go on a tailspin.
Do you guys know who this character is? Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Max something or other. Crosby.
Yeah.
Matt Crosby. Yeah.
Sure. He's a character.
He's got 2 X's in his name, Max. Tell him why, Josh.
Because he nasty.
That's right. He's got an endorsement deal with Saks. So his name is Max, M-A-X-X. The company is Saks, S-A-X-X. They say they are a premium men's underwear brand. And I didn't really get the joke until I looked at it a little longer. Saks. Anyone wear their underwears?
No.
Never even heard of them.
I haven't heard. C. Willi Myles raised his hand. You wear Saks underwears.
Absolutely.
Is it because of the testicle joke?
Yes.
Well, of course.
Well, they're no, they are the very premium line of underwear.
Fancy schmancy.
Yeah, they're expensive. As
They're
they
expensive.
say up there.
Yeah, they
in
are.
Minnesota.
Whoa.
They're expensive.
You could get a 5-pack for $107.
Jesus.
Oh my
Some things are
gosh.
worth protecting.
I haven't spent
C. Willi
$107.
Myles for Saks underwear.
That is crazy.
I don't know if my gear is worth that anymore.
Right.
It used to be.
A lot of athletes, say if you're a skier, and some because they're the way they're shaped and formed and stuff. So they just another layer of protection.
Okay, I'll have to check them out. It's a lot of monies for underwears. But
it is.
Saks, and you're telling me it had nothing to do with the joke about nuts. You just you heard they were high quality.
Yeah, I've been wearing them for probably since 2017.
All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Dang.
Max is endorsing Saks. It says here they both take care of Saks. See, Max is a pass rusher. Randy's passing away. Saks covers your genitalia. There's going to be some charity money thrown around. That's nice. Max Crosby said about the deal, and I guarantee this is straight out of his mouth. This wasn't his agent writing this or anything. Max Crosby said, I've tried a lot of different underwear. Okay. Nothing comes close to Saks. It's versatile and comfortable. I wear it to train, hang out, and even sleep. Simply put, Saks allows me to be the best version of myself. Oh. Something tells me that's not a direct quote from Max Crosby.
No, put together for him.
I hate when they do that.
I'll tell you what, I'm checking text messages here. There's a lot of people that wear them and swear by them. They like the Saks.
They're good. They're form-fitting. They're very,
Yeah.
paper quality stuff, man.
I'll check them out.
You can wash them over and over and over again. They don't give. You know what I mean? Sometimes the elastic goes in your underwear after a while, and some they just straight up.
My old man had the elastic give way on a pair of his boxers once.
Oh, no.
You had to be there for this. It was legendary.
no.
Like you have company
I did not
over?
have to be there.
No.
He had the most grotesque collection of boxer shorts you've ever seen. He was a tighty-whities guy for decades. and he always bought them extra small. It was horrific. It really was. Horrific to watch him. So I think when he remarried my mother, she demanded he upgrade to boxers. And he greased those up in no time. So he would parade around the house in these boxers, and it was just a horror show. But nothing topped this moment where finally the elastic on these poor boxer shorts gave way. And boop, they dropped down to his ankles, right? What did he do? He bent over and pulled them back up. And then they dropped to the floor again.
Oh, no.
Somehow in his mind, he thought, oh, well, that happens. Sometimes your shorts just fall. No, dummy, the elastic, they're done. They're dead. He thought pulling them back up would somehow revive them. Nope, they went right down to the floor again, and he had to finally admit, well, these are goners.
Right. Leave them go, Pops.
Everyone likes Saks underwears in our listing on.
I keep checking. I think I'm going to have to buy a pair.
They're going to have to be pretty damn good for me to hand over. What'd you say, $100 and some for a 5-pack?
Yep, 107.
One pair is like $35, but still.
When you get a chance, check out the text. There's not one negative review. Everyone says they're
Once you put them on, man, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you put them on, you'd be like, wait a minute.
They've got the cooling ones too. The cooling briefs, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be the opposite guy. I'm not trying to be negative, but really, how do you screw up a pair of underwear? Really, as long as they're not made out of wood, I think I can get by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of cheaply made underwear, though.
I haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got those.
Same here.
Nick requests I go commando from now on, and I'm considering it. I'm considering.
Yeah.
Depends on what
not
kind
until
of
you
package you have. You could do that. Certain people can't go.
Josh, start going commando once you're done wearing those basketball shorts around. Tailgate parties. When's the last time someone went to a great tailgate party? For me, it's been a long time.
Last weekend.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't say that. I went to a great tailgate party last year for the University of Minnesota football game against Michigan. Yeah, they were absolutely murdered before I think I had 2 beers in me. But my buddy John, the pig farmer from down in Austin, is a season ticket holder, and I got to party. So it was last year. But before that, I mean, I used to do the tailgate parties at Vikings games. We had a riot. That more or less has gone away, right?
There's still a few lots, but not nearly as many.
Not like it used to
No.
be. So it's few and far between for me, tailgate parties. I suppose, first off, you got to go to a game, which I'm not.
Well, you don't have to go
don't
to
have
the game.
to.
Well, you have to go to the site of a game.
Sure.
And that's where I'm going. I don't go to ball games like I used to, but sure. Who else? Anyone got a great tailgate party story? Anyone had multiple wonderful experiences?
No good story.
Zero.
No.
I had some buddies who went to Madison for school in Wisconsin, and I'd go to a couple football games, and I just wouldn't end up going into the stadium because the tailgate was so much more fun. And I didn't have any skin in the game. I didn't care if the Badgers won or lost. I just wanted to drink beer and have fun.
I went to a Badger game once at Camp Antoine Randall L. Stadium.
Yes.
At least that's what it was named that day, because University of Indiana quarterback Antoine Randall L., by halftime, true story, I was at this game, had thrown a touchdown, run one in, and returned a punt for a touchdown before halftime.
Jeez.
And so we were heckling the Badger fans by saying, change this dump's name from Camp Randall Stadium to Camp Antoine Randall L. Stadium. Tailgates. 70% of sports fans say they look forward to tailgating season just as much as the holiday season.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, if you got a great setup, like they do at some ballparks still, we don't have a great setup here anymore for tailgating, but if you have a great setup, hell yeah, it's a riot.
Gophers have a pretty good setup.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, theirs is okay. Theirs is okay.
Like Iowa State does, too. I have friends who are big Iowa State fans.
Yeah.
He has an RV.
Yeah.
They have a big area blocked off. Randy, you went to
Yeah,
Iowa State, didn't you?
Their parking lot situation at Jack Trice Stadium is perfect for tailgating. Yeah.
That's what you
RV,
need. You need
that's
a
cool.
massive parking lot. That's
Yes,
what you
you
need.
do.
We don't have
Yep.
that. We don't
Yep.
have that.
Yep.
Back in the day when Jerry Kill was a Gopher coach, I had some buddies who they had season tickets and they had tickets to park in the big RV lot. So they bought an old bus. painted it Gopher colors and called it the Jerry Kill Wagon. That was a lot of fun.
Jerry Kill and Bud Grant came to one of my bar gigs.
Did they really?
Together?
They came to see you.
See, you are.
That's awesome.
No, they were there when I got there.
24% of people, 24% of sports fans, here you go, say they've attended a tailgate without even having tickets to the game. And then 22% of people, whatever, say they've attended a tailgate. They had tickets to the game, but they said, piss on the game, I'll just stay at the tailgate party. Yeah, if you've got a great setup, I can see why you'd never want to leave.
Shaped like a tuna can, Jesus makes a good point. I forgot about this. The Saints had a great tailgating back in the Midway Stadium days.
Yeah,
that was
they
fun.
did.
Sure.
That was a
Big
lot of
parking
fun.
lot.
Mhm.
They did. Vikings back in the day at Met Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
That was next level.
It was, because why? They had a massive parking lot. If you went to
Right.
Met Stadium back in the day for Twins or Vikings, or if you went to the North Star games when the weather was nice,
Right.
they were right next door to each other, and we partied our balls off. I've told you stories up and down about the old North Star tailgate parties.
Yep.
So, yeah, I get it. Sometimes you get to the tailgate party, what's the point of walking into the game and fighting all the other derelicts to take a piss and all that? I'll just stay here and drink Steve Weisers, eat brats.
When I went to Lambeau, they had a pretty decent setup, but it was
yeah.
hard to tell like what the tailgate was and what like just the whole town was, because people just say it's everywhere,
Right.
every
Yeah.
parking
Right.
lot.
Every yard, every front yard and garage has got a bar in it.
Yeah,
Green Bay is just the whole city is a tailgate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate them.
Once the season is over, they shut all the garage doors. It's a ghost town.
Turn off the lights.
I went to do a show there after the football season was over. It's the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah.
They've got nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there.
Right, right.
They still wear the green. They still wear the Packers stuff. It's like, you let it go.
Yeah, it's
Go to
depressing.
Milwaukee. You have a baseball team. You have a basketball team. Go down
They're not
and-
allowed in Milwaukee.
It's June. Why are you wearing a football jersey?
Right.
I'll tell you kind of an interesting, sort of dark tailgate story. Many years ago, two of my buddies went to that old Saints stadium, St. Paul Saints, with the big tailgate party zone, and they had tickets to the game, but they got into the beers and they got into the food, and they figured, forget it, like we've been discussing. They're just going to sit in their lawn chairs and stay at the tailgate party. Forget about going into the game. And as they're sitting there in their lawn chairs, they hear the game begin, and they hear the public service announce guy, the PA guy, say, before today's game, we would like everyone to rise so we can have a moment of silence for the passing of Herb Brooks. And my buddies had no idea and said, what? And it was just the saddest damn thing, because that was before you could look at your phone or anyone would text you and say, hey, you know. And they said, God dang, it was the day that Herb Brooks died in that car wreck.
Car wreck, yep.
And they didn't learn about it until the PA guy announced a moment of silence.
Yep.
Speaking of football, tailgate parties, this and that, there's a video going around of a little kindergarten-aged little girl drinking a can of Michelob Ultra beer at the University of Texas football game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that tracks.
She looked like it wasn't her first time, too.
Right.
I don't know, Cubby, what would you say, like a kindergartner?
Yeah, or less.
Yeah,
There
she
she
looked
is.
like she was like 4.
Yeah.
She's at the
incredible shot.
she's at the University of Texas college football game, sitting in the stands with, I would imagine, her mother. It was a lady, a grown person sitting, and she just picks up her can of beer and gives her a couple of swills, put it right back into the what do they call that thing hanging off your chair?
holder?
Cup holder.
Did you hear the further information on this from a spectator, Nick?
Oh, was she smoking a joint too?
No, the spectator said that she didn't notice until she grabbed her beer and realized it was empty.
Who didn't? Oh, the mother didn't.
Yeah, the mom had no idea, and then
Jeez.
one of the spectators had to be like, "Oh yeah, your kid did it."
At the end of the video, kind of looks like the mom just starts to realize what's going on.
Well, there you go.
She's hooked.
Real quick, not the Saints, the Lynx swept their playoff series.
Dominant.
They won last night over the Phoenix Mercury. Nafisa Collier scored 42 points, and that's a record.
She's a beast.
She had 38 points in Game 1, 42 last night. That's a record.
Yep.
They sweep the series. It's a best out of 3. Now they'll move on to play the Connecticut Suns, who eliminated Caitlin Clark and her club, the Indiana Fevers.
Yep.
So you have to wait till next year to see more of that Caitlin Clark. So the Lynx move on.
They got such a good team.
Yeah.
You're a Lynx fan?
Huge.
Are they going to go all the way, Skis?
I think they
could.
They can.
Yeah.
They definitely got the team. They're going to do it. This is a team they're going to do it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's right now.
Yep.
And they're hitting on all cylinders. I had tickets to the game, but we went up to my wife's hometown for her funeral.
You had tickets to the game. You didn't go because of the trade deadline?
Yeah. The Lynx game.
Yes, I heard you.
Just a callback joke to yesterday.
Yeah, I heard you.
Now, I got a couple text messages on this, but I didn't have time to check and see if it's legit. A couple listeners tell me that Derrick Rose has retired from the National Basketball Association.
He did, yes, after 16 years.
I really loved Derrick Rose.
He's a good basketball player.
I really loved, at least what I learned about his personality and the kind of guy he was. I think when he first entered the league, he was kind of a wild card. He was kind of like a lot of guys are. They're young.
Right.
But I hear that in the last 10, 12, 13, 14 years of his career, he was just a wonderful guy. Brad Ryder is one of the guys who told us about Derrick Rose. That he knew everybody from the janitor all the way to the GM and just was a... And I'll tell you guys, one of the great thrills of my life as a sports fan was watching him score 50 a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Playing for the Timberwolves.
That was an amazing night.
It was joyous is what it was. Because you could tell by the way he operated, by the look on his face, it meant everything to him. So that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yeah, he's kind of battled a lot of injuries in the last 5 years, and just his career just kind of never really got back on track. So,
but boy, when he wanted to take over a game, when he was
healthy, yes.
Man.
Youngest MVP in league history.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face.
Younger than Randy Orton?
Wrong league.
Oh. Youngest. Derrick Rose was even younger than Randy Orton when he won MVP. No, I love that guy. Josh, before we go, are we going to play the fart?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me load that up here.
Josh is getting into position.
Josh, do that on command?
C Willi's got to get a new
studio. We want you here for this.
C Willi, do you want to hear the fart?
Is it live?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a setup is needed.
Yeah,
he was so worried.
This is a darts tournament. There are places in the world where crowds show up and watch grown people throw darts. I'm talking about big crowds, not just 10, 12 of us at a bar. This was somewhere in England or something. Championship dart tournament. Dude, his name is Wade something or another. He throws his darts and he's exiting the stage after his round is over. And on his way towards the exit door, he unleashed the fury.
Come on.
That has some juice to it.
Oh, my God. Wayne Wetsky.
And everybody's talking about it.
Jeez.
You got a hold of that one.
In the story, they mentioned this has happened before at darts tournaments. Like people sometimes, out of anger, will do that just to make a point.
You're right, Cubby. Now Wade, the guy who
make a point.
That's how angry I am.
Hopefully Wade went into a bathroom and wiped after that one.
Right, he needs to change.
He just ruined his Saks underwear.
Yeah, he's going to need a new pair.
He blamed it on the Velcro on his sneakers.
Oh, come on.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's not Velcro.
Own it.
Josh is right. A few years ago, there were two guys throwing darts in some championship round, and one opponent accused the other of purposefully passing gas to distract him during a match.
That'll do it.
We got to get going, Randy Shaver.
On that note.
Yes.
Yeah, on a high note. On a brown note.
That is very moist.
Yeah, it is just.
We love you very much, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Pet lovers, now's when you want to get going with those text messages if you have a question for a veterinarian. 651-989-9393. Coming up next, Dr. Andrea of Gehrman Animal Hospital in Minnetonka. She'll be fielding your questions, so send them in. Dr. Andrea's coming on next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Did you know that Standard Heating opened its doors over 90 years ago? That's right. Tony Ferreira opened the doors in 1930, now ran by his granddaughter Claire Ferreira. Call Standard Heating and Air Conditioning today and experience the customer service and care that holds true today.
Are you looking to improve your work-life balance with excellent benefits like 401k match and even tuition reimbursement? Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Half-Assed Morning Show 93X.
Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show with C Willi Myles in studio. And our next guest, Dr. Andrea Johnston of Gehrman Animal Hospital in Minnetonka. She's here to help folks out who have questions about their beloved house pets. The number to text is 651-989-9393. How are you, Dr. Andrea?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Well, we're great, and we're always happy to have you back in.
Thanks for having me.
The mix. You just met C Willi Myles?
Yeah.
You guys were having quite the chat.
Yeah, a lot of football talk.
Yeah,
That's
C
right.
Willi. He's a former athlete who's having trouble letting it go, and also a wonderful comic, and a wonderful friend. C Willi Myles, you don't have any pets.
No, don't have time.
When's the last time you had a pet?
Dude, this is like a sad story.
Oh, we love sad stories.
When I was in high school,
yeah.
My sophomore year, I had got a St. Bernard.
Your folks got you a St. Bernard?
No, I got it myself.
Oh, okay.
Paid for him.
Wow.
Lock, stock, and barrel. My mom and dad said, if you want it, you got to pay for it. So I went and got him. His name is Rock. I named him Rock because he's just a big puppy. And he just wouldn't, they don't like to run and move very much.
No,
definitely not. So he's a puppy, right? And then so I went off. He was 2 years old, and he missed me. I know he does. So he used to go run with me, but he would take shortcuts.
Yeah.
So he knew my running route.
Yeah.
So he'd see me run around the corner and go, okay, I'm going to cut across his head.
Yeah, he knew where you were
going.
going.
And he'd wait for me on the corner.
Yeah.
I'd run a mile. His hold was like maybe 100 yards because he knew the route. So I'm at college, my freshman year.
Up at St. Cloud?
St. Cloud State. Yeah. Get a call from my sister, Catherine. She said, Vivian wants to talk to you. And the Vivian in the background, I'm not talking to him. I'm not telling him. And I'm like, what is going on?
Vivian is who?
My sister.
Your
so
sister.
these are my sisters. I have 9 sisters.
Yeah.
So
did you catch that, Dr. Andrea? He has 9 sisters.
And you wonder why I don't have a pet. But anyway, this is a true story. So they were calling me because my dog, when my one sister, Catherine, who, you ever people when you get a dog that's a puppy, when he's a puppy and they give him a rag and they make him fight for everything.
Sure.
And I hated that. I said, don't do that to him. And then he never liked her. I mean, he didn't like her like he would bite her. Every time he would see her, he would just stand up and be like, don't play with me, just keep walking.
Okay.
Well, anyway, she was coming over to our house and we had one of those garages. He always laid half in the sun and half in the shade. And then he would just get up and switch sides, so he was just lazy dog. But anyway, my sister let the garage door down because she thought he was all the way in the garage. And his head was sticking out. And she didn't see it from the angle that she was at. She hit the garage door.
No.
Son of a bee.
And when it came down, but it wasn't the garage now that if it hit you, it stopped and
right
back up.
Yeah.
So he got up and it broke his neck.
That is horrific.
Oh my
That is one of the worst stories I've ever heard.
I know.
In my
I
life.
told you it's sad. I mean,
That's horrible.
Josh, you should have stopped him from asking me this question.
You should have. I heard that story.
Well, we got our promo for the day, everybody.
You know what? Maybe that's like an older sister. Is it older?
Yeah. All my sisters were older. I have 9 older sisters.
Oh, 9 older. Okay, so
Yeah.
well, Wappel, his older sister tried to kill him by slamming his head between a door.
Yeah, it was a sliding van door. I was in the back seat, and we were all getting out to go get Dairy Queen. So I was a little pumped Wappel. I'm like, yes, strawberry cone or whatever. And then all of a sudden, my sisters get out, and I put my head out, and it was right where the door comes, and it slammed into the side of the van.
Slammed your skull, and you had to repeat 3rd grade, did you not? Because of
and 4th and 5th.
C Willi Myles, have your sisters killed anything else that you've loved in your lifetime?
No, just my spirit.
Right.
My sister, but my one sister, Marilyn, like she just grabbed the phone. That's the one that lives here now. She 22-year military. She lives in Anoka. Now she can't move by me, right? They gave her the phone. She goes, she was so hard. She just went, your dog's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm like, wait, what?
Just gave it to you straight.
She gave it to me straight. And she told me what had happened. So I wasn't angry at my sister because I knew Rock didn't like her. And she was she was crying. She felt bad, but
Don't worry about it, C Willi Myles. Yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? It's hard to believe this is a real thing, but yesterday, the day before, it was Roadkill Day or something. What was it? Roadkill?
Yeah, it was just yesterday.
Okay, so naturally our conversation evolved into our pets. You know, I've had a couple dogs hit and cats hit on the highway. And so, your story wasn't completely out of nowhere. We kind of shared these stories yesterday as well. Okay. So, sorry about Rock.
Sadly, we see it more often than you think.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's a sad part of the job.
Yeah. Pets coming in, they're in terrible trouble, and you do your best and all that. Right. Sorry about your bubby.
Yeah. So I never got another pet.
I don't think I would after
that's
that.
pretty traumatic.
That is traumatic.
Yeah. So.
Well, how about a question about balls to kind of lighten the mood?
Great.
Just what the doctor ordered? Well, not specifically, but yes.
This person says, I'm getting my dog neutered and found out yesterday there's 2 ways to do it.
Yes.
Free scrotal and scrotal. Can you please explain the difference?
Wow.
Wow, that's technical. We don't do many scrotal neuters because it's just a little bit more invasive. Most dogs have a pre-scrotal where you actually take out the testicles and leave the scrotum.
Really?
But people are neutering their dogs later and later, and the problem with that is they have mature testicles. So when you take out the testicles, it leaves an empty, deflated sac.
Yes, it does.
That doesn't oftentimes shrink up. So some people like to aesthetically go in and have the scrotum removed too.
Yeah.
Josh, how's your Dane's scrotum looking?
Oh, both of them.
I never thought I'd ask that question.
The one that had it done a while ago and the one that recently did both look great. Yeah, I appreciate it. You recommended, I thought you had a different name for it. Ablation, scrotal ablation.
Scrotal ablation. So you actually take the scrotum with the testicles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be too gross here, but see, Willie, these things were massive. I mean, to the point where I wish you would have seen them. And so, you had mentioned, Dr. Andrea, that there'd be a lot hanging there, and I could, you could catch it on something or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the way we did. That's the way we did it.
Oh, you did the scrotal ablation.
Yeah, we went.
Awesome.
We went all the way in, and
so there's nothing hanging there.
There's like
some skin.
Yeah,
looks like an old sad party balloon.
It's nothing like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing like it was.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but yeah, thank you. We appreciate the advice and everything. And it didn't. He was totally fine. I thought maybe he'd look at us funny, or maybe
he probably does at night.
Bastard.
He's just in the corner looking out a window, smoking a cigarette.
What could have been?
You bastard.
Very interesting question, and you answered it perfectly, Dr. Andrea. I totally understand now. It reminds me, Dr. Andrea was nice enough to come and say hello to us this year when we were hanging out at the Minnesota State Fair as a program, and it reminds me when you walk into the pig barn.
Yeah.
Boy, are they hauling around some keepers.
Yeah.
My God, I don't know. And years ago when we were young and we thought we were cute, we walked up to the big pig. Every year they have the biggest pig in Minnesota. And, of course, it's hauling around these 2 volleyballs, for Christ's sake. And we're talking to the owner of the pig, and my buddy Big Al walks up and says, Who do I talk to about a transplant?
Wow.
And the pig, he didn't think it was very funny. Okay. Further questions for Dr. Andrea. An 11-year-old cat named Dragon, he coughs. Dragon coughs like he's going to cough up a hairball, but nothing comes up. What could be going on with old Dragon, the 11-year-old cat?
Well,
Sounds kind of scary to me.
yeah, I mean, cats vomit. They do. That's their thing.
So much.
If it, yeah. I mean, and some once a week, but if it's increasing in frequency, that might mean there's something in the stomach. Did the cat eat something? Is it
Well, he says
excessively
nothing's
grooming?
coming up.
Yeah, so maybe, I mean, honestly, the other thing I'd have checked out is the heart, because cats typically vomit with heart disease versus cough.
Okay.
Or they look like they're coughing, but they're actually gagging.
Ooh.
Yeah, you might want a chest x-ray.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You know, yeah, I would expect, and I think I'd feel better if my pet was coughing and coughing.
Got
I would
something up.
feel better if he, let something loose as opposed to nothing happening.
Yeah. I mean, cats are never supposed to pant like dogs. You should never see a cat pant.
Oh, okay.
That's a worrisome sign.
Good
That's
to know.
very interesting. I always thought also if your cat is in like a resting pose and his mouth is open, that was concerning.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good.
No,
okay.
not good.
Okay.
Not like a dog.
This person
All right.
says they have a 60-pound pit bull, and they're throwing him a birthday party.
Wow, happy birthday.
Oh my God.
So they want to grill him up a steak, and they want to know how much steak can a dog eat, and should I cook it well done?
Wow. That's a nice gift.
Yeah.
You're going to risk some diarrhea and some consequences potentially after feeding that steak.
God.
Pretty rich.
Birthday diarrhea.
I mean, I see dogs that have come in and eaten an entire chocolate cake and act like nothing's happened. So they can tolerate a lot. That doesn't mean they should get a lot. So I would just, I guess, do a petite sirloin or something and cook it up well. I don't know.
Dummy down the portions a little bit.
Yeah.
Skip the asparagus and the mushrooms and sauteed onions. And all that.
What about the cooking then?
I would cook it.
All
We
the
don't
way?
like raw food. Yeah.
Okay.
No, raw food for dogs isn't good.
But meaning he want to know if he should do it well done, or does that not necessarily matter?
I mean, as long as it's somewhat cooked, like a person could eat it healthy, that's fine.
Then you're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never give a dog chicken, right? Because of the bones.
Yeah.
Okay.
No bones.
No bones for those puppies. An 11-year-old black lab here. Adorable.
Those are great dogs.
Yeah.
they are the best.
I used to have one.
Everyone, aside from C Willi, only had that St. Bernard.
St. Bernard.
Has everyone here owned a lab?
Yes, a couple of them.
The most reliable dogs you'll ever have.
Yeah. Very sweet.
Had a couple. Well, you got
You have a bad experience?
another opinion on that, C.
No,
Willi?
I mean I'm a golden retriever
Oh, me too.
Yeah, they're
type.
sweet.
I just love golden retriever. I think they're the nicest, calmest dog, especially around kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
they're
and
a really
old
good
people.
family dog.
And
So
old people.
beautiful too.
I mean,
Just-
if there's ever like a civil war in Minnesota, I think it's going to be lab people on one side and retriever people on the other. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know. These
I'll
days
just
it
be in
might
the
be
middle.
Frenchy people on one
Oh,
side
yeah.
and lab and golden people on the other.
Well, the
Everybody-
Frenchy people, that's all going to be the western suburbs. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, they got money.
Story. Yeah. I lived next door to a lot of golden retrievers, and one of my favorite is Casey. She was such a good dog, man. She lived next door to us, and she knew where our property line. They didn't have no electric fence or nothing.
Wow.
She just knew where our property line was. When I would come home, she would crawl up to our yard and just sit there and wag her tail until I say, "Casey, come." And she would just jump across that line and come in. She would come in our house. She knew where her treats were.
They're both great
They're
dogs.
yeah. So my wife and I never got a dog because we always lived next door to people that had really nice dogs.
There you go.
And so I told her we're gonna have dog adjacent because I golf and I have stuff to do, and and I don't have time to be walking my dog, and I ain't here in the wintertime, and I
Smart.
I lived next door to a pug who fell in love with me, and for some reason, and I had to be careful when I left my townhouse not to leave the door open for longer than 2 seconds because the pug would run into my townhome and run up and get into my bed.
Oh my God.
Those dogs
sweet.
are cute. I have a pug niece. My brother and his wife have a pug.
And I always thought that was cute, but then I wondered, well, what the hell's going on at home?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good point.
11-year-old black lab. Kind of concerning. He's been falling over, passing out, getting dizzy. This dog has been seen by a veterinarian like our guest, Dr. Andrea. There were some tests run. He was subscribed antibiotics, and it says he has recovered. What the heck was going on there with a dizzy passing out?
Yeah, so they can get vestibular disease just like people. Old dog vestibular disease, we call it, where they all of a sudden their balance gets off and they fall over. They walk around like they're drunk or they can't keep their balance. That is 50% of the time we see that in older dogs. The other is, could there be something going on in the head that's causing those symptoms? But if it's resolving, my guess is it's probably the vestibular system being a little wonky and off. That usually resolves.
Dogs can have strokes, right?
They can. Yep.
I had a Springer Spaniel who got all wobbly one day. Very concerning. I mean, she just was a mess. And this was 25, 30 years ago. The vet told us she was having a stroke. She lived through it.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Wow.
Rural mail carrier Shiza said her cat had a sarcoma tumor removed from his leg. They now suggest amputation to stop the spread, but it's going to be about $5,000. So she wants to know if there's some other options that could stop that spread.
Unfortunately not. Gosh, we always end up talking about amputation, I feel like, every time I get on here.
This is it's a dark program. You know, it's a morbid. We like morbid
dark
stuff.
We're
Yeah.
talking about amputation. No, that is the best bet for preventing spreading of that cancer is to amputate that leg. There's really no other options. I mean, you'd be spending 20, 30 grand on chemotherapy and all that fun stuff.
See, and you know, and if I can be honest with you, you know, this is why, and that's another reason why I don't want to get a pet, and because I have friends, man. I'm talking. I know your animals are family. I get that, and you will do anything for them. But there's a difference between like a family and then a dog or pet. You got to do like financial.
Right.
You got to look at when you like. I would tell my wife because my wife would want to do this, and I'd be like, no, we can get another one look just like him and give him the same exact name. He won't know.
I have dumped thousands of dollars into my three-legged puppy, and I would not have it any
Well, you're
other
out of your
way.
damn mind.
Shoot, we have a cutoff on our kids. There's a certain amount we won't spend.
Right.
You guys, they have pet insurance now. That saves you. That saves.
No.
That's what you need to get.
Car insurance, homeowners insurance. I can only imagine what pet insurance is, man. That's because they get you where
you need to get it right when you get the newborn pet because it's a lot cheaper.
Yep.
A lot cheaper.
No pre-existing diseases.
Is there something like on the the menu board or whatever that is the most expensive thing a vet can do? Or
The menu
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been to a veterinarian.
I'll take a number 7.
Yeah, can you order it?
I want the combo package.
You know,
I'd supersize that.
They can do like orthodontia work in dogs these days. So braces and expanders and root canals.
Braces?
There's
Really?
a veterinary dentist I work with.
Can I get a deal?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
The most expensive thing that I was ever quoted was when they were thinking about having like a traveling surgeon, like more of an in-depth surgeon, I guess, work on like ACL tears and stuff like that. They were like, yeah, that's gonna run you over $5,000.
Yeah,
So
we
for
have
some
a surgeon
people-
that does it twice a week at the clinic.
My mom
ACLs.
took
Yeah.
her last dog to get pet acupuncture, and I didn't know that was a thing
No
until
way.
she went.
What
C
did
Willi
it do?
Myles is gonna. C Willi Myles' head is gonna explode over here. Yeah.
Man, there are so many dogs out there looking to get adopted, man.
I agree. I agree with that.
You
Sure.
You know, some of these dogs sometimes always. Cause I'm no veterinarian. But
What?
all I say is that at the end of the day, I mean, I've played one on TV.
Very convincingly.
At the end of the day, I was like, I don't know some of the people they keep their dog. I mean, when I tell you I lived in Wayzata, there was people that had a dog that, they had to. He would only walk like 10 or 12 steps, and he would have to lay down, and they would carry him out. I mean, that's how bad. I was like, at some point, you need to just.
Oh yeah, there's.
Let them go, man.
It depends on who you are. Some people will.
I can't do it.
They'll go at all costs.
Yep.
And when you're
Only
taking your dog, but you see a lot of them pulling them in wagons. They can't even walk no more.
I had one of those.
I mean, he's outside. He's in a wagon. He's not getting any exercise here. You mean, are you doing this for you?
All the best people currently or formerly lived in Wayzata.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'll be damned. Yeah, our guest this morning, entertainer C Willi Myles and veterinarian Andrea Johnston. We got time for a few more questions for Dr. Andrea about your dogs and cats. And by the way, next time you go see a C Willi Myles show, ask him about his St. Bernard dog.
Oh, don't do that.
Named
Don't torture him.
by the name of Rock.
Don't do that.
Nick is evil.
Right before he goes live.
Right
Before he goes on stage. Hey, man, didn't you have a St. Bernard?
Yeah. Yell it from the audience.
Yeah.
Talk about Rock.
I know earlier we
Hi, C.
covered...
Willi. I'm Garage Door Jesus. I was just wondering if you could tell me a story about
God. We were talking earlier about a dizzy dog. A listener, check in at 7 Jesus, wants to know, Dr. Andrea, have you heard the term a wobbly cat?
Yes.
Okay. Listener says, so this is check in at 7 Jesus again. I have a 3-year-old cat, and he's a wobbly cat. Well, first off, what is a wobbly cat?
So it's called actually cerebellar hypoplasia. So they are born with a small cerebellum in the back of their brain. So there's, different parts of the brain. So it wasn't fully developed. And so a lot of times if they go up to the food bowl, they'll wobble their head and kind of bounce.
Oh.
It doesn't really affect their long-term prognosis, but yeah.
Kind of looks like the cat's keeping a beat.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3-year-old wobbly cat, and he's the best. His symptoms have gotten better over the years, still crashes into walls and doors. Okay, you answered the question. He wraps up his text by saying, wondering what the life expectancy of a cat with his condition is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's what it is, but you'd have to have a CT scan to confirm it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a wobbly cat. I know wobbly people.
Sure.
And I assume it's because they've had a couple too many, but that's really interesting.
John Deere Jesus said he's got a 50-pound corgi trying to get her to lose some weight with some diet dry food. I guess it's not working, and they take her for multiple walks a day and still nothing.
She's snacking secretly.
I mean, 50 pounds for a corgi, that's pretty heavy.
He sent a picture, and she looks
large.
Full.
Yeah.
Portly. Big boned, my grandma used to say.
Tick.
Yeah, so I would make sure it's prescription weight loss diet. There's something called overweight management you can feed the dog. It's like an Atkins diet, high in protein, low in carbs. They can eat more because it's all fiber, and it's more filling for them too. Otherwise, I'd get that dog's thyroid checked for sure, because it could be a thyroid issue.
We just shame one of ours, and we call him the fat one, right to his face.
Oh, ouch.
We've cut down his food a little bit, but yeah, he's getting a little pudgy.
You get no reaction from that? He's got pretty thick skin?
So he gets kind of mad sometimes. But yeah, we'll throw out some terms just to try and shame him. So you do recommend getting a thyroid checked?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a question I've been looking forward to asking you since it was sent in a little while ago, because I imagine your response is going to be interesting. If I rescue a wild animal and raise it on my own, can I bring it to a normal vet?
No. And no.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, he says asking for a friend with a really big cat? That's frightening.
Oh, boy.
No, bring it to the wildlife center in Roseville. They'll take care of it.
We've done that before. Yep.
Yeah, don't try and raise it.
What are you doing with a really big cat? The thing's just going to
That's
tear an
risky.
artery out of your thigh.
That's scary.
That's kind of cool, though.
What did you bring to the wildlife zone, Josh?
A hawk.
Oh, sweet.
It decided to try and come into our house through a closed window.
Oh, no.
And so he just kind of sat there for a little bit.
You picked this damn thing up?
Well, after about an hour, they said just, it might be dazed. If it's there in an hour, box it up and bring it in. So that's what we did.
So it didn't claw your lower lip off or anything?
No, he looked very appreciative, to be honest. So they said they'll take care of it.
What a little hero you are.
Well, I don't know about that.
To the wildlife community.
And when I say we, I mean my wife exclusively. I stayed away.
I gathered the box.
I knew it couldn't get in, so I stood by the window and looked out.
Some of our listeners have a way with words. Dr. Andrea, a listener says, I have a 100-pound 3-year-old Bernese mountain dog. Her butt stinks like a seafood restaurant dumpster after we take her for long walks.
Yikes.
What's the deal?
Get our anal glands expressed.
Oh, no, again with
the
the
smell. Sorry. Yeah.
You went through that, didn't you, C. Willi? I had to express yours for you.
No.
It was
Thank goodness people don't have them.
on a long
Mine are
tour.
very expressive. Very. Yeah, I actually. So we had a dog. She was a Rottweiler Shepherd mix, and it would get really bad. And so I had asked. Somebody had told me you can do it at home, and we brought her into the vet. And I asked the vet, and she looked at me like I was a serial killer.
I have taught clients to do it at home, but you have to do like a rectal exam to do it.
Yeah.
And it can spray, and it stinks.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd probably have a professional do it.
Well, that's what we ended up doing. I thought it was a legit question because I had a few people saying, "Why you bring it to the vet?" They just tell you you can do it at home.
Yeah, you gotta get them really empty. We literally have like punch cards for dogs that come in every 6 weeks to have their anal bits.
No.
Oh, really? It has to have.
Yeah.
So, boy,
Some dogs just need it every 6 to 8 weeks.
this was every couple years for us.
Oh, wow.
We got lucky.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't
Gotta
know.
keep track of that. Keep
Yeah.
track of it.
Is there a way to slow that down, or is that just something that
There's a thought that they can be related to allergies.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes dogs, unfortunately, the material in it is really thick and they just can't express it.
See, Willie, he's never going to ever get a dog after
No,
this.
I'm not going to get any kind of pet, man. I mean, I'm done.
Not even a turtle.
No.
We got
Goldfish, nothing.
We got a lot of texts on the topic of pet insurance. Are you comfortable maybe mentioning one or two that you like?
Yeah, I'll tell you the two we use. Well, three, I should say. We use Pumpkin. They're a really good insurance company. Trupanion. Pets Best is another one. I think VPI went to Trupanion. And then, honestly, if you look with your company's insurance plan, a lot of employers offer pet insurance.
Oh, really?
Especially big corporate. I know Target does through Medica. So, yeah, I would look into that first.
There you go. C Willi Myles, thanks, man.
Oh, thanks for having me,
Yeah,
man. It's always
love having
awesome. I learn a lot when I come in here.
I knew you would enjoy this segment.
Nothing
I
I
knew you
would use, but I learned.
Thanks, C Willi, and thanks again, Dr.
Yeah,
Andrea.
of course.
Always a good time.
Bovine Rectum Wrecking Crew Jesus had happy 4th anniversary to his blonde bombshell wife. He went on to say he breeds almost 10,000 females a year, but they mean nothing to him. You're the real love of his life. Congratulations and best of luck to Brendan and his beautiful wife, Bree, or I should say fiance Bree. They're getting married tomorrow. Happy birthday to former Navy Jesus from Santa Jesus, and to our buddy HVAC Delivery Jesus. Happy birthday to you.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air is looking for an accounting administrator and customer service representatives to join their team. Learn more at standardheating.com/careers today.